Hello, everybody out there in comic book land. My name is George Serrano, aka The Don. And if you're listening to this, you can only be here for one reason. And it's a brand new episode of the Major Issues Podcast brought to you each and every week by comicbookclick.com. And I am alone here today. Usually that's the part where I say, and as always, I am never alone. But sometimes life throws you a curveball. We do the audio version of these drops every single Thursday, and we were kind of getting right to the limit of the release of this episode, and a bunch of things happened. Murphy's Law, whatever you want to call it. Maybe it was a phantom, maybe it was a curse itself, maybe I picked up the wrong crystal skull, if you will. But three of my co-hosts just couldn't make it here tonight. But best of wishes to them. I'm still going to try to talk about what we're here to talk about today, which is The Phantom, which came out in 1996. And this was a film that I had never seen. Apparently, it just was in a crop of films from this era. The Rocketeer, which we covered a couple weeks ago, Spirit, which I haven't seen, The Shadow, which we also covered. I think The Spirit is the only one out of those that we've yet to cover. All I knew was that this guy was in the purple spandex, and he's riding a horse. I knew it was Billy Zane because I knew Billy Zane from Titanic and from Zoolander. And I also knew that this was a pulp hero from back in the golden age of comics, mostly because of the Defenders of the Earth cartoon, which had him, Flash Gordon, Mandrake the Magician, guys like that. So I have no actual background with the Phantom as a IP, as a character. I had never read the Phantom strips. All I knew was that he walked around in some sort of kind of purple spandex, and had a gun, which is really funny when you think about how many modern superheroes refuse to use firearms. It's the mark of a vigilante almost, or an anti-hero to have firearms. But no, with the Phantom, he's just rocking both of them and he's shooting indiscriminately. So I had this movie here, and I really was hesitant to watch it because I had just seen Supergirl, and there had just been so much of this vitriol that it came out of just watching a fun comic book movie. All that stuff just kind of got dragged down by the discourse around it, and it made even talking about any of the parts, good or bad, just like pulling teeth. So, in between binging the comics that I binge, going to the comic shops, and watching X-Men 97, I had to find some time to be in the mood for something like this. And I did. I found the time, and I was able to sit down and I was able to watch The Phantom. So before we get into our big spoiler-filled recap and review, as we are one to do here on this channel, I want to tell you my thoughts, spoiler-free. And I kind of loved it. I kind of really, really dug this. I don't know what it was exactly that made me like it as much as I did. It just felt campy in the right ways. Maybe if I would have seen this at the same time as, let's say, Batman and Robin, I would have lumped them both in as kind of cheesy. But in a world right now where superhero media is always trying to find that line between, um, I would say, earnestness and dark and gritty, I just love the fun that everyone on this crew seemed to be having with this film. I love the swashbuckling nature, and so much of the dramatics in this just remind me of the overacting of yesteryear. And I mean that in the best way. I don't think anyone in here is bad. I think they're all doing exactly what they think they're supposed to in the roles that they're in. Story is kind of straight and narrow. Oh, I think we have somebody coming in. I can't hear you, brother, but I can see you.
Oh, you can hear me now, baby.
I think I got you now.
I'm here.
Move this. But yeah, but yes, move this stuff around over here.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I'm just trying to find the. There it is. There's the Zoom. Um, no, I was just saying in general, I have no background with this movie, and I ended up really, really enjoying it. I thought that this film, um, I don't know what people's reception would have been at the time, and considering the kind of media that was out around that time, I'm not 100% sure that it would have stuck the landing. I mean, but from my recollection, it did not stick the landing financially. Um,
Nope.
so there's that. I just try to minimize something. There's that. Um, but maybe I was just in the mood for it, given everything I had been reading was super dire and
Mhm.
everything that I had been watching was super dire. But I just thought this was cheesy and campy in just the right way. I thought that Billy Zane has this very weird but obvious charisma about him. He is he makes some ridiculous choices in this, but I believe the entire film is ridiculous. The entire script is ridiculous. Some of the lines in this are just outward funny. The whole idea of there's a what is it like a you have a saying in the jungle or whatever the hell. And it's like, what are
Everything.
you talking
Everything was
about?
we have a saying for that. We have a saying for that. We have a saying for
Yeah,
that.
all of that stuff just rang ridiculous, but I can't help but have enjoyed it. Did you have a bunch of and maybe I should do this up front. Everyone, I am now being joined by Alex Garcia, aka the comic OG, the Cog, who can actually give me a bit of perspective of what this film was like when it was released. I mean, this comes out around the time of Spawn, of Batman
Mhm.
Forever. This is a little bit before stuff like Blade and the Matrix, before we get into that whole like leather fetish era of comic book stuff. And
Yep.
they have been trying all in the early 90s to adapt these kind of heroes. Like I was saying earlier, doing stuff like The Shadow, doing this, doing The
Yeah.
Rocketeer.
Dick
They were
Tracy.
Dick Tracy. Yeah, they were grabbing a lot of these IPs up
Hmm.
and trying to get them out there. Do you
Yeah.
remember when this film came out and what the reaction around it was?
I remember this movie very well, and I personally liked it a lot. As a kid, I couldn't go see this myself, so I didn't contribute to the box office.
Right?
But I know that once it hit television, which back then took quite some time, so it would have been like 97, 98 probably by the time this hit TV, I loved it. Billy Zane was like at that time that kind of dude,
Is
like
Titanic this year or like right before this? Or yeah.
I think Titanic was around the same time. It was around the same time.
Okay, let me
And
see
I
what I
think
can find.
I don't think that helped his his market for this because he played such a douchebag in Titanic to then see him in this being heroic.
Oh, it comes
It
out
was like,
after this, 97. Damn, you would have put a gun to my head. I would have said like 94, 95.
yeah, no, it was but Titanic was probably being filmed around the same time because I do know that he was saying because he wore a wig in this movie.
Yes.
And he said he wore the wig because of the filming of Titanic. But people
Okay.
have
I mean,
gone,
it is his Titanic hair. It looks like it's his Titanic hair.
well, it's a wig. They're both wigs
Yeah.
because he didn't want to admit to balding at the
Right.
time, which we all know that bald is beautiful, baby. So it's
Yes.
all
Yes, we
good,
do. Yeah,
you know.
I heard a rumor that what he had kind of what people had been saying around it in an effort to hide the fear of being bald was that he
Mhm.
possibly shaved his head to fit in the cowl.
Right.
Which I
Which
mean, you
bald
usually put
caps
in a
have,
I'm gonna say you usually put on a ball cap to fit in the cowl a little bit easier. Um, I think that's the only thing that I had a hang up on is just is the outfit because it's so golden age. But I would have feared any sort of 90s update to it. I think an overly rubbery suit, right, that shows like the abs and stuff, I don't think that would have
mhm.
worked. I
Well,
wouldn't
the
want
dude he got ripped for this. He didn't need it.
yeah.
And I like the suit. I think the suit is fantastic.
Maybe a
Um,
tinge darker. I don't know. You know what's funny
maybe
though? You rarely see superheroes in general, and especially of this era in the daytime.
right. Which I think I was thinking about the same that also nighttime filming would have made this almost impossible. Because think
Yeah.
about how hard to film a purple suit in a dark scene, especially at that time with
Yes.
with the lack of CGI. It would have been like he's a real phantom. We can't see this guy. Where is this character?
Right.
So I think they had to film it in the daytime, and certain scenes miss out on the depth of, like the severity of what's happening.
Yeah.
Like when they're sneaking on the boat
Right.
and he's blatantly just, shimmying
Yeah.
on a rope, and it's like
There's a
no one
lot of
sees this.
shimmying and
No,
hanging
no,
on.
no one sees this
Yeah.
dude just shimmying his way onto a boat.
There was a lot of interesting trains of thought as I'm watching this because like that scene comes up and I go, is no one checking that? And then I think then the other part of me goes, maybe there wasn't a lot of people shimmying up ropes back in the day where you had to be scared of something like that happening, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. Or
It's the
maybe maybe from far away they just thought he worked there.
yeah,
That's Jimmy. That's Jimmy. He always does that.
it's the whole like go into a room and look everywhere but up because you've never had to look
Right.
up. There's never
Hmm.
any been never been anyone there. Um, but I thought he was really really good in this. I'm like my mind, and maybe this is just recency bias. I think he probably could have done a better job than Val Kilmer as Batman.
Yep. Yep,
Um,
I totally see that. And I mean, what's funny is he's always been regarded as being that like gorgeous male actor to
yeah,
the point where if you remember, he shows up in Zoolander later in his
yes,
career.
that's the first time I
You know,
realized he was bald. I was like, oh my god, okay.
right.
Yeah, I'm like, what did you do to all of that hair? Not knowing that the hair was, wasn't there in the first
Yeah.
place. But
But
yeah,
nope.
and it's a damn shame he's never played Lex. Got the eyebrows, bro. He would
Yeah,
have.
he's got that face. Because to me, he as good as he was as the Phantom, and he plays that classic dopey hero very well, like when he's in his alter ego,
Mhm.
he's so good as a villain. He's so freaking good as a villain.
Yeah, but also the weird thing about this to me is that he doesn't even really need the the regular dude. He doesn't
No.
need Kit Walker, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he could just be the Phantom in the jungle all the time. People seem to love him. I'm pretty sure that he's
Hmm.
getting free food and shit, stuff for his horse, and then he just hangs out in his Phantom cave. Like everything seems pretty copacetic. He didn't really ever. There wasn't a lot to do with the Kit Walker character, but then when like the first time you see Kit Walker in all his regalia, I'm like, that's just Clark Kent. Like they're just
Right.
doing
Right.
doing with the hat and the coat. And I'm pretty sure everyone dressed like that in the 40s whenever the comic book
Hmm.
was made. But it just like I'm just like, how is this man literally both parts of the world's finest right here? Like, well, how is he able to capture like the brooding nature and stuff? There is at least the threats of child abuse in this. There is men forcing themselves on women all over this film for some
Yeah.
strange reason. There's literally the line, no one no one refuses or no one can refuse the Phantom.
Right. Or and even when the villain has the girl tied up at one point, he's
Yeah,
like, I'll make use of you later, or something like that. And I'm
yeah,
like, Jesus Christ, just
yeah.
raping.
And
Just
then
rape
yeah,
right out on
just
screen.
yeah. It and I love the villains in this. I loved all the character actors in this. Came in going like not knowing anything. So like I pop when I see Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes. I totally forgot that she was in this movie.
I think most
Totally
guys
forgot.
popped when they saw at any point Catherine Zeta-Jones. My first time I ever saw her was in Zorro, which I don't think comes out too much later after this. Mask of Zorro or before this.
The first time I think I remember seeing her was in the one she did with Sean Connery. Entrapment, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah. Didn't yes, 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 yes.
And I wanna say that was a little bit before Zorro, but I could be wrong.
Damn, Mask of Zorro is 98. Entrapment's
Thinking
99. So
Oh,
she
so I
was
just
in
didn't
this.
watch
Yeah, this
Zorro.
is this
I
is
just I just
baby.
didn't watch Zorro.
Yeah, this is baby Catherine Zeta Jones. But yeah, seeing her in this, I was like, this is great. I like is it James Remar? Steve?
Oh yeah, the classic villain. He's always like the
He's
classic
great.
henchman.
He's
Except
absolutely
except
great.
except he played Raiden one time.
Yes, not too far from this. I want to say maybe even the same year. I'm getting all this,
Was it
but my 90s are a blur, so I can never remember when Mortal
it was Mortal
Kombat
Kombat
2.
Annihilation. It was part two. It was part two that he was Raiden.
I forgot they didn't even call it part two. They called it Annihilation. Yeah, 97. This would have been
And
before
then
this.
and then wait, are we forgetting Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yeah, she's
Kirsty,
absolutely fantastic in this.
yeah. Oh,
Super
I don't
charming.
know.
Christy
I don't
Swanson.
Kirsty Swanson. I don't know how she never got over. She was great as Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I thought she was great in this.
You
You
would
know,
like I would think if you're looking at this film, right, and you're like, damn, that James Remar would be a great, Raiden. How do you not look at her and go not say Sonya Blade? Like how do you not look at her and go like, boom, we got it? Because they recast Sonya in that film anyway,
they did. They did.
you know?
I don't know. I mean, maybe she didn't want to do it. Maybe she didn't want to do it. She was like, I already killed vampires. I don't need to kill other monsters.
I thought she did
Because
a great job in this.
Mhm.
Uh, they do make it. They go out of their way to make her a character that doesn't necessarily need the Phantom, but likes him around. But then ultimately needs him later on.
Oh, she right, but I think about how people would react to this now. Oh my
100%.
God, like, or she
And she
she needs to
says,
be saved.
he says, he goes like, "I'm here to save you." And she's like, "Right." Anyway, I think I got it from here. And
Right.
she walks out. So like I saw that and I kind of smiled to myself. And um, yeah, I just think that she's incredibly capable. I thought she was very, very charming. I believed her and all the stuff that she did. Um, my favorite part, I think, of this, before we just dive right in, is it feels like that whole part shot in what was it, like China, like an island near China or something, or in the China Sea at the end where they're
Mhm.
trying to get the last skull. All of
Right.
that looks like a show you would watch in like Universal, like where it's just a pirate set and people are swinging on ropes.
Yes.
But the thing is,
Yes.
like, I never saw it and was like, "Wow, this is corny." I'm like, it just brought me back to that era of the big swashbuckling kind of cannonballs and all that kind of stuff that affects.
I like that though. This entire movie, with the exception of like two scenes, I like seeing all the practical effects. That the fact that my eyes never had to deal with that uncanny valley of the CGI nowadays. Think about it. We got this weekend. You can go see Moana,
Hmm.
which is live action Moana, when it's really just a bunch of actors in front of green screens.
Yeah,
And meanwhile, watching this movie felt more palatable because I knew I was looking at real stuff.
yeah.
I miss that. I
And not
miss
everybody
that.
knows like Krav Maga. And in this, like now, every single protagonist, doesn't matter who the hell they are, fighting like John Wick. Like every single person
Right.
knows every martial art, and everyone's doing that weird Hurricanrana
Yes.
move that everybody knows.
Hmm.
Daredevil doing that one really
That
tricky
yeah,
kick
Black
that he
Widow, Black
does.
Widow.
Yeah, I and like in
Yep.
this, it's just punches. Everyone's just punch. There's a couple ball shots in this.
That's it.
Good old fashioned American shots to the groin
Hmm.
take place in this. But yeah, I found this to be a real treat, and I just walked away going like, "There's no way they, there's no way people could have gotten what this was doing because everything else was so earnest at the time, like the biggest, baddest. I don't think that's
Right.
him. I don't think that's what they were positioning him as. This
No.
felt like a golden age. This felt very similar to also like Indiana Jones. There was a lot of moments where I'm
Hmm.
looking at this and I'm like, this was little Indiana Jones. But like, as somebody who watched Kung Pao, right? And you could just like visual
And that was also
gags.
around the same time. That was also
Yeah,
around the same time.
just like visual gags, right? Like you can't tell me when you see a visual gag that they were trying to do that seriously. There's no way they were trying to seriously tell me that this horse outran a plane at one
It
point in
did.
this.
It did. It's magical, man.
It just
I call it, even though it wasn't part of Lord of the Rings, I called that horse Shadowfax
okay.
because Shadowfax could have done that.
It just felt like they had so much B-roll of this horse just running, and they had to like put it somewhere. So many shots of this horse running. It's really really funny stuff. And also,
And it make
I think the piece de resistance when it comes to information I found out about this was I didn't know until Frank told me that the villain was played by an actor named Treat Williams.
Yep.
And so the idea that there's a Trick Williams and a Treat Williams is ridiculous to me. The fact that that's
And what's
Trick or
and what I
Treat
love is
Williams.
when that dude first walks in, he looks like such a pimp because he's
Yes.
wearing so many jackets and layers. I'm just like, what
He,
that?
you know what's so weird about him in this? I liked him in this. I liked him a lot. But the reason why I
Mhm.
liked him is because for some strange reason, it felt to me like he was still playing like a 90s villain, like a 90s businessman. Like he just didn't know how to like pull it back and be more old timey. He just felt like a villain
Right.
out of like Wall Street or something. Like he felt like he came out of one
Yes.
of those 80s, 90s
Well,
businessman things. And no shame to him, but I felt like I feel like you're in a different movie here, bro. A little bit.
but it just goes to show how the times don't change because the Phantom, like you said, is a reflection, or this is done as an homage or keeping it real to the source material. It's at a time from the 30s where you had your good guy and you had your bad guy, clear cut. There was no like Not like nowadays where you go, oh, the villain you kind of feel bad for because he was beaten up as a kid, and the
Yeah.
hero's kind of maybe a bad guy because, he walks that line. No, the Phantom is the good guy. This dude, the moment he walks on screen, you're like, that's the bad guy. That's it.
There's also like he very famously wields two pistols, but I don't think anyone ever gets shot to be killed in it.
Nope.
I've seen a bunch
I
of
noticed that too.
disarming with the gun,
Hmm.
disarming with bullets. Okay, there's a lot of that going
Yes.
on where he hits them
Now I
just
don't think
perfectly with their
that.
sword.
I'm pretty sure in the old uh strips or
Serial,
whatever, he probably shot a couple people.
yeah,
But yeah, in this, I think they went out of their way to be like, yeah, you can't have the good guys shooting people,
yeah,
but they still maintain that motif of he has his guns.
yeah. There's just a scene of him shooting this cross armed and back. And I'm like, why is he trick shotting? We don't have time for this, bro. Let's just get to the point.
He's just styling and profiling, baby. This is what I do.
Staying in the jungle, got a style, and he got to profile.
That's right.
But yeah, let's get into it. So, directed by Simon Windsor, The Phantom is a 1996 superhero film based on Lee Falk's classic King Features comic strip. Film
Mhm.
stars Billy Zane as a titular, seemingly immortal crime fighter, alongside Treat Williams, Christy Swanson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, James Remar, and Patrick McGoohan. Released on June 7th, 1996. So yeah, just we're about a month shy of its 30th anniversary. Um, to mixed critical reviews, the movie underperformed at the theatrical box office, but has since gained a strong cult following through the home release. So we are gonna get all into the recap and review of this film. If you haven't seen it, uh, go check it out now. I think it's on Pluto TV of all places to find it. That's where I
Mhm.
watched it. I I thought it would have been somewhere else, but maybe they tried to bury it. I'm not exactly sure why it was so hard to find. But I enjoyed it, and if you can stick by a few commercials, I think you'd enjoy it too. And then come back over here and check us out as we tackle it. So the film starts in the early 16th century with a young boy out at sea. His merchant vessel is violently boarded by the Singh Brotherhood. Sang Brotherhood? Singh
I
Brotherhood.
think they said
But
sing.
there's a thing about this. I'm gonna get into it in a second. A bloodthirsty band of pirates. The boy watches in absolute horror as his father is ruthlessly cut down by the pirate leader, Bai Singh. The boy manages to escape the slaughter by diving into the ocean. He washes ashore on the remote beaches of Bengala, where the local native tribesmen find him, nurse him back to health, and present him with a mysterious skull ring. Standing alone on the shore, the boy lifts the ring and swears to protect the jungle and a sacred oath to dedicate his entire life to the destruction of piracy, greed, cruelty, and injustice. Um, I absolutely love. I mean, it's a trope, right? The old mystical, the old foreign mystical group of people who are going to teach this one guy magic, not or imbue him with magic, and not only is he going to be one of them, he's going to be the best of them. You know, I think that that's
I
really
mean, I
funny.
mean that's just what happens. I mean, I would imagine a lot of people who watch this immediately go, "Oh, we're tired of this whole white savior thing," and it's just like, man, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
I feel like I laughed at it when I saw it, but he's the only one I think of all the people accused that seems to have love for the place that he's
Hmm.
representing.
Right.
He didn't take his skills and go to South Beach. You know, he didn't leave and go to America
Yeah.
with his stuff. He stood in the hood and he protected the hood. So I don't mind
That he
him.
did.
I don't mind him acting hood because he stood in the hood, protected the hood. And that's why I was like, okay, I'm down. I'm down with this guy. You know, I'm totally down with him. So turns out in the original strips, as you were,
Hmm.
the villainous organization was Sting, Singh, right? And it was
No.
thought like someone in 1996 waited till the dial-up started working on their laptop and went to Ask Jeeves or whatever existed at the time and typed in how many Sings exist in the world and realized that is way too many people to slander by calling the gang of these people like the Sings. So in an effort to not offend everyone with Sting as a last name, a very, very popular last name, they went with Sting, E instead of
Funny.
an I. But in all the original material, it was the Sting group was the pirate.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I looked it up because I'm like, am I saying this wrong? I had to look it up because I was like, what the hell is going on here? Um, but
I just know that the island of Bengala has a really good soccer team.
apparently,
That's what I heard.
terrible bridges though. Terrible
Terrible.
fucking bridges. Um, we cut to 1938, and this boy, we see this boy's Val, this young boy's Val, has now turned onto a living legend because the locals
Right.
tell the story of the Phantom, a masked hero known as the Ghost Who Walks, because people believe that he's the same exact immortal man who washed ashore 4 centuries ago. Deep in the jungle, a ruthless mercenary named Quill, played by James Remar, is leading an illegal band of I guess we would call them hoarders, not hoarders. What do they call those people?
I guess
He's doing an excavation,
land
right?
pirates, land
Land pirates,
pirates.
yeah. Land pirates. He's doing an excavation. They're stealing shit,
Right.
aka how the entire British Museum got put together. But anyway, he, he has
How the
captured.
Killmonger's gonna show up and be real mad.
Yeah, but it's like you're already like, oh, these guys suck. They do a great job to be like, these guys suck. You're already like, oh, James
Yes.
Remar, he's usually
Mhm.
playing a villain, so he sucks. Okay, these guys are kind of bumbling idiots. They suck. Oh, they have a
Oh,
child, fucking
yes.
like a tour
But it
guide
kind of
or
hurt me
whatever.
because a deep cut here is the dude who's in the truck with him with the kid.
Yeah.
He plays one of the good cowboys in Young Guns, if you remember that movie.
Ah, okay.
So
Now he's a
seeing him
hero.
be villainous, I'm like, no man, you're one of the good dudes. You fought with Billy the Kid. Come on, bro.
They found a way to cut to like not have to do it, but like he swings at that kid at one point. They like
Oh yeah, no, he goes to elbow him in the head, and the
yeah.
kid knows like I'm out.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay, and they basically use him to drive the truck across the bridge. All very jacked up stuff. Then they're like, you know
Oh,
what, screw
horrible.
that. We're putting the kid back in the car. They shoved him back in there. Um, we find out, yeah, he's captured this young native boy to serve as his guide. He's hunting for the silver skull of Uganda. I hope I'm saying that right. Uganda, an ancient artifact rumored to possess terrifying world-destroying energy when it reunites with his sister pieces. But he's doing this on behalf of Drax. We hear the name Drax. This is what Drax
Which
wanted.
I
So
I
it's
know
like
for I know it must have made you laugh every time you heard that name.
it didn't until I just realized right now that I was going to mention that the person whose name that came out of first was a guy named Quill.
Right.
So who did this? Why is Quill and Drax on the same team in this? And in Guardians?
I was even thinking, okay, it's gonna be like
Nope.
DRACKS. And the fact that clearly on the building is DRAX, I'm just like, oh, okay.
I love that at one point he's like, I'm Xander Drax, starts with X, ends with X. Like you've thought about that. Okay, bro. You've been thinking about your branding. Um Inside the cavern, Quill orders one of his henchmen to like look around. The guy finds a skull, and then he is strangled by a skeleton. Who like all of this has me cracking up. Skeleton, how much strength can a skeleton, even if it was reanimated? I feel like it's literally just bones. I feel like all the strength comes in muscle. And so you have this skeleton just pressing
Well,
its
it, it
bones.
it knew pressure points. So it
Ah,
knew
okay.
exactly where to get him on the neck, and it was
Yeah.
over. You know what I
I
mean?
love
And that because
that.
if you notice it took 2 bullets, it died
Well,
again.
Quill's like, yeah, let me shoot at it. Let me shoot
And
at this.
he's a hell of a marksman, man.
I wouldn't have trusted him with that shot. I was like, bro, leave. I'm here to die. Leave me here to die. Guy gets choked out. He dies. I love that they're like, what went wrong? He's like, he's dead. He just got choked out. But
Shocker.
he doesn't care. He takes the silver skull and he pockets it. Um, the Phantom, played by Billy Zane, crashes the dig on horseback alongside his loyal White Wolf Devil. He dynamically dispatches the mercenaries, rescues the captive native boy, and leaves the surviving grave robbers tied up for the jungle patrol to collect. But when the Phantom confronts its leader, he notices a chilling detail. Phil is wearing a distinct mark of Singh Brotherhood, and he recognizes him as the exact pirate who murdered his own father years ago. Because we're gonna get into the whole belt thing. Got my daddy's belt. Find what's going on.
Yep.
Quill uses the distraction to trigger a cave-in and flees the jungle, being a waiting truck and seaplane, successfully escaping back to the United States with the first skull. Quill does, sorry. Driven by a need for justice and guided by the literal ghost of his father, played by Patrick McGoohan, who materializes offer cryptic advice, the Phantom vows to track him down. Love Ghost Dad. I hate ghost
Yes.
things in this, usually, but I like that he knows he's a ghost. That's my whole big beef, is I always hate when it's revealed in the fullness of time. If we would have found out at the end of this that he was a ghost, I like that he's insane. That's what I'm chalking it up to. There's too many hits to that.
Yes.
CTE wasn't a big thing at this time. Like, they didn't know about
Hmm.
CTE until Benoit. So I feel like uh I feel like he was just undiagnosed and he's just having a lot of time. He smiles at inopportune times. He
Yep.
says like some of the weird things. I think he just got bonked on the head a couple one too many times. He's good natured. I ain't got no beef with him. He's, inoffensive. But his dad, like, I'm watching this and I'm like, this is Alfred and Bruce.
Yes.
It's
It also feels like Patrick McGowan is taking the movie way more serious than the
yes,
Phantom. Like they
yes,
read the script completely differently,
yeah.
and I love Patrick McGowan because one, if you go back to you ever heard of the show The Prisoner?
No.
I would highly recommend you watch that show. I also believe, don't quote me on this one, I think he was like involved in early takes of Star Trek, where I think he was
Ah,
supposed to be the captain. Don't quote me on it. I
yeah, yeah.
may got to do a quick Google search on it. But in general, like this is a very serious actor. He
Ah,
was the king in Braveheart. Remember in Braveheart?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he throws his
Okay, I can
son's
start
lover out
putting
the
that face
window,
to, yeah.
and he's just
He's just hearing a
so you put
smoking
that face
jacket,
in this
right?
movie where yeah.
He's just like chilling in
It's just
this.
like it feels like two different people. Like
No, 100%. That's the vibe I
yeah,
get from him. I get like this weird, suave British man, um, and he's
Mhm.
he's piffy in the way that comic book Alfred to be, like to just say like one-liners of
Right.
sarcasm and shit like that, to his thing. And I love that. Like, I love this was obviously made for children. I mean, I think that I don't know how many people they were trying to court from the 1930s that would have known this property. You got to believe that this, and alongside all superhero films of this era, were made for children. So I love the whole like dad disappears, and you're like, oh, he's a ghost, and then the kid comes up and he's like, oh, who are you talking to? And the guy was like, oh, to myself. And he was like, oh, because I heard you talking. Like they keep reiterating, like to let you know that this is a ghost and he's not real in this. So I'm glad that everyone on the screen was on the same page. Off to this, just as a side note, Billy Zane apparently was a enormous fan of the original comic strip and spent over a year working out to build the physique required for the role. They made him a padded Batman style suit for production, but by the time it came out, he was so muscular. They're like, nah, screw that. We'll
Yeah.
just put you in the suit. Um, I know this suit from uh Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio in WCW.
I that's a
That
cut that I don't know.
that is the very first time I saw this outfit, and I found it very strange because he wore the black underwear as well. I'm like, why is he wearing this purple onesie, Rey Mysterio, and then this like black underwear underneath? Oh, and someone told me, oh, it's the Phantom. I was like, oh, okay.
What year was that match?
Might have been '96.
Really? Oh, so they saw the movie then.
Somebody saw this movie, even though it didn't do great at the box office. Someone saw this movie. Let me see, Rey Mysterio. You got to see this too, bro. I don't know if you can Google where you're at, but Google the Phantom Rey Mysterio, and you will not be disappointed. I'm trying to find out when this actual match took
Who and Rey
place.
Mysterio?
Phantom Rey Mysterio.
At Phantom Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, yeah, if you just Google Phantom Rey Mysterio, I'm gonna find out when exactly it happened. Um,
Oh my! Wow!
right, right. Isn't
Yeah.
that pretty legit? That's pretty legit. They got me opening a damn YouTube tab over here just so we can find out what year it was. 97, 97,
See,
October
yeah, he
97.
must have seen this movie, man.
But you see that as a kid, a wrestler wearing that as a kid, and that was locked in my brain. I'm like, I don't know what
Yeah.
he is, this
See,
this
I
wrestler,
would have
but
known. I would have known. I'd be like, oh, that's the Phantom. It's
yeah,
dope.
100%. Um, this so then we cut to New York City, right? And as soon as we cut to New York City, the music and all the sound effects are on purpose, like trying to make it chaotic, noisy, and just like a place you don't want to be. We had just went this beautiful jungle, right? Where we see all this like
Right.
lush vegetation and the calm and respectful people, and then we get like right into the hustle and bustle and smog and honking of horns and stuff of the city. And I'm like, oh, this is they're doing this on purpose, like this whole
Right,
exposition.
right. And for me, I saw it and was like, home.
Yeah,
I was like, that jungle place reminds me of Florida. It's too hot. And then he even makes the joke when he saves Kirsty Swanson, right? She's like, oh my God, I'm so tired. He's like, oh, it must be the humidity. He's so used to it. Meanwhile, I'm driving home today in
yeah,
this freaking sweltering heat.
no,
Like, kill me
100%.
now.
I don't know
Kill
how that
me.
man lasted with all of those layers out there. But that was really funny. Seeing do they have like a we're looking at like a gala. That's another thing. I'm having this thought in my mind because you have the scene with him, you have the scene with the ghost dad. So I'm like, okay, Batman and Alfred. And then we go to a gala, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is just Batman, right? Oh, there's gonna be a villain at the gala, and you're introduced to Mr. and Mrs. Palmer. I forget the dad's
Yeah.
Dave
I
Palmer.
forget that.
Dave Palmer is the name of
Arnold,
the
Arnold, Arnold.
Arnold Palmer. Ray Palmer, bro. It's gotta be Ray Palmer. Um,
Isn't that the shrinking guy?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't tell him to his face though. Um, but there's this big thing made where they're at this. I guess it's a fundraiser. The Palmers are the fundraising, and the wife is all like, "Oh, that guy Xander Palmer. Oh, that guy Xander Palmer. That guy Xander Drax is here."
Mm,
That's like, "Oh, we don't fuck with him." Right off the bat, I love that dad
right.
right off the bat was like, "We need to, if he's here, he needs to leave. We need to find him.
Right.
We need to
None of
kick his
this.
ass
I
out."
like that because again, this is that old style. This is the villain. Whereas, like, think about how they constantly introduce Wilson Fisk, right? Oh,
Yeah.
he's a businessman and he helps out the community. Oh, but he's kind of been in trouble sometimes. Well, we will deal with that later. They're clearly like that's the villain. The hero, the good people in this story are telling you this is the bad guy. I like that.
Um, and what's interesting is that on the surface, it just looks like Dave is protesting the fact that this guy who might be a criminal is at their home or at their party or event. But as you watch, you realize he's been like putting together a case against him. He's
Hmm.
got like people looking at the stuff that he's looking at. He's because he's supposed to be like dealing with certain gangs, buying a bunch of property, doing a bunch of shady stuff. And so
Yeah.
Dave, like rightfully so, has been doing his own little investigation. We
And
also
they and
meet
they no, and
all
they
right.
established that he's like the editor in chief of like I guess their Daily Bugle or
That's
something.
what it
And
is. That's what it is. He's a paper
Drax
guy.
even says quickly like, "Oh, I'll buy the newspaper," which
Yeah.
is again a villainous thing to do.
That's literally what happens in the Ultimate Universe that just passed with Fisk buying the paper. Prior to that, didn't at one point Lex Luthor own the Daily Planet? I feel like
The Daily Planet. Yep,
that was a thing
yep.
going on at one
And then
point.
think Daily Planet, and then think in the first season of Daredevil,
Yeah,
the Wilson Fisk kills
Eric.
Phil
Yeah.
Urich, right? Because he's
Um, yeah, get to that. But that's the whole thing. It's like, initially they're doing like he's playing it super cool, So he's like, oh, how much for a paper? And someone was like, oh, like 55 cents. He goes, no, the whole thing. I'm
Mhm.
just gonna buy the whole thing. And he's also smoozing it up with like the police, and we see that like almost like all the people that should be also having a problem with him being here are like his best friend. Kind of reminds me of the scene in Batman Begins, which is one of my favorites, where Batman goes to the bar and he's just shown that all the mobsters are hanging with the judges and hanging with the
Mhm.
police, and they're like, "You have no power here." This is kind of how it feels. It feels like one righteous man trying to stop a criminal, and everybody else is just kind of helping the criminal out.
Right.
They're also very well, not her, but the mom is very mean to Diana Palmer, played by Kristen Swanson.
Yep.
Or like you're underdressed. I guess she was just doing the whole like all this was to say that she's not your girl's girl.
Right.
They were doing a little bit of heavy-handed, like she comes dressed from straight from the plane. She goes and
Right.
just makes herself a bologna sandwich. And I had this thought in my head, Alex. I was like, I don't know. I'm guessing this is a very dumb question, but I'm guessing that sandwiches were big in the 30s. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that making a sandwich during a gala is very shorthand for he's not your average type of person.
Right. Yeah.
That's what
Like
that
I'm not,
scene.
I don't have time for you people. I'm making myself a sandwich.
Yeah,
And I like because even when she's making the sandwich, the reason why they go out of their way to point out her saying it's bologna sandwich is because her court who the
yeah,
guy who just like basically forces himself on her,
yes.
he kisses her and then he like
Golly.
he's all like, "Oh, I was gonna come rescue you from this, that, and the third." And then she's like, "Why didn't you?" And he's like, "Oh, I changed my mind."
Yeah,
And
talk
then she's
about like a
like, "I made a
triggering scene. I was
bologna
like,
sandwich because
whoa,
you."
what's going
Right,
on
right,
here? Yeah, but you're like, and then what kind of sandwich you eating? She just like right in the eye and just deadpans baloney.
the bologna,
Um,
right,
um, that there was a lot of that guy too in this era of movie. It felt like,
hmm
right? The kind of guy who's just literally sniffing behind the woman that the main character kind of wants to get with. It reminds me of that guy in is it the guy who's always hounding Vicky Vale in
Oh yes, yes.
you know what I'm talking about? Is it Arliss?
The photographer. Yeah, wait,
He played Arliss.
He played Arliss in that
Right?
old
Am I getting that
old
right?
age. Right, right, right. But
Okay,
I
okay,
can't
that's
remember
right.
his name. I can't remember his name in Batman. But
Yeah.
yes, that guy. Yes,
Yeah,
he's
so
the
there's like
photographer.
always this like sniveling, just kind of gross
Mhm.
guy that's chasing after the female and stuff. So I love that they like Palmer has like the chief of police and a bunch of other people, important people there, and he starts breaking out the receipts. Yo, I got a hookup at the library. They're telling me that he's trying to go and steal this like artifact. He's past like trying to run guns and stuff. He's gonna get a supernatural weapon, and we need to like kind of get there before he does. And now that he just threatened to buy the whole paper, I don't really want to go. I don't feel like it's very smart for me as leader of this paper to go. And everyone's just like, okay, just send your daughter. Like, yeah, I guess. She's like, fuck it, I guess. Um,
Right,
and so like, homeboy finds out, Drax finds out that his whole like secretive research has been compromised. So he just like meets
right.
up with the librarian. Look, you're already shaking your head. This is one of my favorite parts of the movie because it's so fucking ridiculous.
It served no purpose other than to be like, look how bad this guy is.
Yes, and there you need one of those scenes. People might not get it off the tip. You need one of those scenes in the movies to let people know. Um, and
Yeah, yeah.
earlier in this scene, you see him like messing with this microscope, and these like blades are coming out of it. And he's like, oh, you know, whatever. He finds out that Palmer is sending somebody to the jungle to hopefully get this skull before he can. The second skull, sorry. They're going to the museum. Sorry, that's what it is. They believe that the second skull is like somewhere in that general area. So he brings the guy in and he questions him. And the guy's like, he's no snitch. He's right up and up, like, nah, the only person who could have known was me, and I didn't tell nobody. And I was like, oh, that's pretty standard. He's like, do me a favor, look at that microscope real quick. I'm like, what is he going
And
on? He's like,
I like the fact like just to add to his villainy,
yeah,
I was expecting him to press a switch to activate his death.
right,
Instead, he basically makes it so that the guy kills himself.
yes. I
And the
also,
last thing he sees is the word liar. So think about the setup. Think about the villainous setup that he had to go through to. First, I'm going to make this fancy microscope that's going to kill people, and then I'm going to put a slide here, depending on who I'm killing, so
yes.
they can see that I know the truth.
Yeah, and it's also
Like,
like they also they do a fake out because anyone who saw the blades before knows what's coming.
mhm,
So he goes and he puts his face up to the microscope and everybody's kind of like biting their lip, and then he goes like, "Oh, I don't
mhm.
see anything." He's like, "Look closer." No, not that dial, the other dial. No, the switch.
Right.
Damn it. Let me check. And then the movie's over because fucking Jackson stabbed himself in the eyes with his fucking lethal
Microsoft.
microscope. Like a fucking James Bond
Like the
thing.
wily coyote move.
Yeah, 100%. And also, like, I don't know the human anatomy, but would that kill a man?
I
He
mean,
would
he'd
have to,
bleed
like,
out.
plunge his brain or something, right?
Or he just watch him bleed out, which is even worse.
Yeah. And try to get that out of a 1930s carpet. That's not happening.
Ugh.
But 1930s technology.
Right. Well, think about getting that body out of the office. How
Yeah.
many people have to be involved?
Yeah, it's not,
Like total body,
it's
or
not
else I'll
great.
kill you too, or else I'll make you go look at the microscope too.
Yeah. Yeah, wants to come look at the microscope. I did not get or love the whole like spider tattoo
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't think it was needed. There's like, oh my god, he's got just bad guys doing bad guy stuff. Just stop them because they're bad. You don't have to stop them because he wore the same tattoo as the guys who robbed the boat or whatever. Like, it's like no, just do that. Um, but yeah, old girl's flying to the destination that her father's figured out is where Drax is heading next. And Drax sends his personal syndicate of mercenary female aviators. This comes straight from the comics as well, called the Sky Band. I thought they said the ska band, and I was very disappointed by the music that came after because I was like, none of this is,
It's gonna be fire, baby.
yeah, this is not real big fish. What's going on here? But yeah, they intercept Diana mid-flight. There's a lot of just gun waving around in this movie. Like she just pulls out the gun and just starts waving it towards the like
And
who's
just
Diana?
the immediate threat of either reveal yourself or I'm gonna start killing people.
Mhm.
And then she reveals herself immediately, showing how heroic she is.
Yep.
And Catherine Zeta-Jones immediately is like, "Damn, I thought I was gonna get to kill a couple people first."
Yes.
Like, wow.
That is the glamorous femme fatale Sala, played by Catherine Zeta-Jones. That's
Mm,
also a comic strip character.
right.
Um, and yeah, they're able to take control of the aircraft and abduct Diana. And so they fly her to a heavily guarded waterfront hideout back in Bengala to keep her quiet. Again, just pop for Catherine Zeta-Jones in this. Um, I had the joke early on that it kind of plays out as it goes. I'm like, is Catherine Zeta-Jones like digging Diana? Like, I don't know. Some of the looks that were getting thrown on this plane, I'm sitting there. So in the end, when they literally fly off into the sunset, I'm just like, maybe there's a movie there. Maybe there's a. If 1996
Well,
wasn't
I
ready for it, but maybe there
later
was a movie there.
later on, a little further down the line, when she just rips her boots off of her, that's
Yeah,
when I was like, "Yo, what is going on in this movie?"
yeah. Um, Word of Diana's kidnapping reaches Captain Philip Horton, played by Rob Colby of the Jungle Patrol, who alerts the Phantom. Launching a high-stakes rescue mission, the Phantom infiltrates the waterfront base, fights his way through Drax's mercenaries, and extracts Diana. I love that he like fell through like a laundry chute or something like that.
Yep. No, I just the fact that the first thing, again, just because this is something a type of scene I don't think would happen in any movie nowadays outside of like a Tarantino movie, where the first room he burst into is just full of women showering,
Yes,
and he drops a one-liner, and then another femme fatale comes out of nowhere and just starts shooting him,
yes.
and he doesn't attempt to disarm them, he doesn't attempt to fight them, he just jumps down a laundry chute.
I even think when he opens up the thing, like the one-liner is like a very Superman, like "Sorry, ladies" or something like that. Like,
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly.
even though all these women on here are terrible, they're all part of this guy,
Right.
whatever the heck, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
and then when he lands in between the two women after the launch, his thing is, oh, it's just a boat full of women.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, because he's like, what is this? I love that again. Like you could have him kick down the door. The idea that you had him falling through has to let me know that they wanted some kind of comedy in this. That's
yes,
just funny. He's the hero. He kind of just ends up where he's supposed to be, as they all
yeah,
kind of do, right? Like they all just,
hmm
without superpowers, without knowing exactly where she was in the building, he just happened to hide in the one place where she happens to be. Um, and is seemingly annoyed that he has a gun pointed at him. Like at one point, I'm like, oh, is this when I'm gonna like the way he's standing there? Is this how I find out that he's bulletproof? Like, is she gonna shoot at him and he's gonna be like, oh, what did you think that was gonna do? He just like one
no,
handed disarms her out of annoyance,
yeah,
and
and
then
then she disarms him.
and she's
You
like
know,
she's flirting with him the whole time. Then she
no,
kiss
and
him.
she's immediately turned on. She just starts making out with him.
He does kiss him. Yeah, there's a lot of this is where I'm like, okay, I don't know what consent was in 1930s. There's a lot of that going on here. And then old girl clocks her. Didn't
Yep.
have to clock her. She's gonna tie her up.
No, I don't. No, he says tie her up, and she's just like, sure you can
Yeah,
get out of here. I got time for this.
she clocks her pretty hard. That was pretty funny. Um, and yeah, this is when he's like, "Yeah, come on, I'm here to save you." And he's like, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, well, I got this from now." And so they kind of are playing this sort of game as the film continues, where she is on her own mission. She's been sent there by her father. She literally has great purpose. he really feels that if Drax is able to have this power and control, that he can take over everything, including the newspaper. So she's on her own sort of journey with this that that the Phantom doesn't know about because he's just been hanging out. He's just
Mhm.
worried about these people kind of stealing souls. He also is reading like what is it, Bengala literature? Like
Right.
earlier when he's training, he's just like,
Well, yeah, because he points out that the skulls have unimaginable like potential
yeah,
for destruction or something like that. So he
hmm,
knows how potentially dangerous these skulls are,
yeah,
but it's all from that perspective of people. This is before the atomic bomb is dropped.
yes,
So their idea of something destructive is, like a tank
yes,
or a big bomb or something. So how destructive they imagine these skulls coming together to do, I don't know. It
yeah.
seems
It
very narrow-minded.
what it did do, I did not expect. For all that gets said about them in this, the whole laser pointer thing, we'll get
Yeah, I
there,
know.
but I did not expect that at all. Um, uh, he brings her to his ultra secret headquarters, a deep jungle skull cave, to recuperate. Uh, Diana is stunned by her mysterious savior, completely unaware of who he really is, before they book passage back to New York to stop Drax's grand plan. What's weird about this is because he knows who she is,
Right.
he's grinning like a fool. Is the only description I can have for their entire interaction.
Yeah.
He's just grinning like kind of like a creep, and I'm like, bro, tone it down a little bit. I don't even know that you
Hmm.
know her, but now I know that you know her just by how your
Right.
face is
Oh, and he even
all this
says a
time.
line. He even says a line at one point, like, "Oh, she's just like she was as a kid," or something
Oh,
like that.
she's never changed, something like that, or something like that. Like,
Something like that, right?
yeah,
Like, oh, so you remember her from like 20 years ago,
he's just smiling as he gaslights her. He's just
right?
smiling ear to ear as she gaslights. That's why I like, and I think it was intentional that you find out later on that she knew, right? She at least was able to put
Hmm.
together the piece.
Right.
Probably because he pops up out of nowhere after a couple of years.
Like,
It's also like a line that's kind of like, I don't know if that would work today, where they're like, isn't your boyfriend the one swinging from the vines or something like that? I was like, what? And I was like, oh,
like,
the Phantom.
hmm.
Okay, woo. All right,
Right.
I'm back. We're back. It's cool. Um, so it turns out the screenplay was penned by Jeffrey Boehm, the writer behind Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This explains why the narrative shares the same exact kind of snappy,
Yeah.
globe-trotting, puzzle-solving energy. To keep the 1930s high society aesthetic authentic, Hugh Hefner actually permitted the production team to utilize the real world Playboy Mansion to stand in as the wealthy Palmer estate. Good
Hmm.
thing they didn't have black lights back in those days because that would have been
Well,
really.
well, it stinks only because I I don't know how to say this, but I knew I recognized that
Oh, okay,
building from
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
It's just because if I don't know if you remember, but during that time period, anyone and everybody like that was a status symbol to say, "Oh, I got invited to the Playboy Mansion."
100%.
So even on MTV Cribs, I think they did the Playboy Mansion.
I
you
was
know,
trying to impart to Jessica that at one point in wrestling, that was like the highest order. It was like, oh, this diva is the next one to be on the cover of Playboy magazine.
right?
They'll do a big
Hmm.
unveiling. It was
Yep.
very
Hmm.
supposed to be very classy and stuff like that. But yeah, really really interesting. And then it just kind of tells you like back in the day, it was like the Playboy Mansion and that one castle in Scotland that was the castle for every castle. The X Mansion,
Yeah, it was
bunch
the
of
X
those. Yeah,
Mansion.
it's a
It was
bunch of.
Lex. It's Lex Luthor's house in Smallville.
There you go. Yep, 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 yep. Yeah, it's the same place.
Yep.
Um, Back in Manhattan, the Phantom sheds his purple uniform for a sharp trench coat, glasses, and a fedora, moving through high society under the civilian name Kit Walker. Um, I love the interaction with the cabbie. I miss, I miss. I'm trying to say the best way to say this, but old, weird-looking actors. Everyone's too pretty
Yes.
nowadays. Where are the old, funny-looking
Yeah.
actors? People who look
Think
like
of, yeah,
me.
because
I need
I mean,
somebody to identify with
yeah,
in these
because
films.
even in the shadow, we had the great. He was Frankenstein. What's his name? Peter Boyle.
Yes, yes,
Peter
yes, yes,
Boyle
yes, yes,
was
yes.
the taxi driver in that,
Yeah.
and this actor's very kind of looks like Peter Boyle also.
Yeah.
and he's just very on the nose, knows what he's talking about, and like immediately protective of this guy.
Yeah.
But I also felt like he also was just like, I want you to pay me with real money.
Yeah,
Like,
100%. And he just
stop
gave
giving
him
me jewels. Stop giving
opals.
me like whatever weird weird old bills.
So this is the reason why I gave this film credit. Anytime I wanted to question something or I had something in the back of my mind, they address it. In this scene, I'm like, okay, because what happens is he takes a cab somewhere. When he gets there, he says he doesn't have any money. He just has like Bengala. He tries to pay him in Bengala money. And the
Mm-hmm.
guy's like, I need actual like
Mm-hmm.
legal tender. And so he just digs a bunch of precious stones out of his jacket, names what they are, and tells him like, oh, they're probably very valuable. And it probably is going to pay for your whole day. So if you can do me a favor and stay here as I run in there and come back out, it would be good. First thing that went in my head was, as soon as he leaves, go sell those rocks. That was the very first thing. I'm like, as a New York guy, I need to know if this is real. If you didn't just give me a bunch of bubble gum and rocks, that you found, outside the park or something. And so I love that that's addressed. Like he comes back in and Al, the taxi driver, is all like, "Oh, sir, your car, sir," and open your door, and he's like, "Oh, your attitude's changed." He's like, "Yeah, I went and got all those rocks appraised, and
Mm-hmm.
like I'm good to go." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome." Al's great. Al's great. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Also serves as like another form of Alfred, and then Al, and like another person
Right.
who he can hang with and confide into. That also felt like a comic book thing, but I couldn't tell. Like I didn't look that part up. The idea that he would have
Right.
like a kind of chauffeur that feels very golden age, right? Like he would have somebody drive him around and
Yeah.
show him the skinny on the dark underbelly.
Yeah, I know nothing about the source material. Like I can't say I've read anything. I've only ever seen panels
Yeah.
from, I guess, from strips. And most of the panels, I've never seen the Phantom in the city. Every panel I've ever seen was always him in the jungle and like drawing power from an animal.
Okay.
Which we did you do any like Defenders of the Earth?
I brought that up in the beginning of this podcast
Oh,
that
okay, okay.
that was a running joke on the Weekly Planet slash Mr. Sunday Movies, is whenever anyone would even say the word Defenders, it would play the entirety of the Defenders of the Earth theme song, right?
I
And
didn't know that.
so and
I didn't
so
know that.
yeah, and what's weird is I had already been doing my deep dives into the origin of comics, right? So like I knew
Mhm.
separately about Flash Gordon, about Mandrake the
Right.
Magician, about the Phantom.
Yeah.
They're playing this song and I can't understand what 80s lyrics are going on in the background. And then like I listen to it and I'm like, oh wait, there's a team of these Golden Age guys. They just said, fuck it, we're gonna make them the Avengers.
They just
I
smashed it
love it.
together, dude.
I absolutely love it. And
I
I think they say like the
I
ghost who
hated that cartoon. I
walks.
hated that cartoon.
It didn't feel like I didn't think that these guys were cool. I like these movies, but I don't think they're sellable in the same way that you would sell a Thundercats or Transformers. And it
No,
looked like
and
they were
that's what it was. They
trying
they
to.
came out at that same time. So I'm
Yeah,
sitting there watching Transformers, Thundercats, the Ninja Turtles, you know what I mean, Scooby Doo even,
yeah,
and then they try to tell me that a dude in the purple suit, a funny magician, a Flash Gordon, who for me was a football player,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because the movie at the time,
yeah,
and I
100%.
forget who the fourth guy was. Who was the
I didn't know there
fourth
was
guy
a
on the
fourth
team?
guy. I thought it was just man. I thought it was just
Oh, is it just three?
Mandrake.
Is it
I
just three?
thought
Okay,
it
well,
was.
it's
Yeah,
just
I could be wrong. I think they eventually came out because they do something called the Kings something. That's the
oh, the
King's
comic
name.
book. They
Yeah,
they couldn't call it Defenders of the Earth, but they called it like the King's Watch,
Watch. There you go. The
something
King's
like.
Watch. Yeah, and
And
I think it was
and
just the
even
three
that
of them.
comic book, as far as I know, bombed. Like,
Didn't do well.
th- no,
It's
because
a very niche audience for this kind of stuff, man. Especially when you have some of the stuff that's going on in the big two in terms of like popularity. Like the Phantom is still,
yeah.
a little bit of a deep cut. So
But what stinks is I love the Phantom. Like by himself, even on that show, I remember being like, of all the characters, Mandrake was corny.
yeah,
He was a corny magician.
he's like
Flash Gordon,
he's
I
like
was like, dude,
Zatara,
you
like
belong in
old
space.
school top hat.
Yes, exactly. But worse, because that's who I thought it was. So I'm thinking I'm getting Zatara, but instead I'm getting this guy named Mandrake, who feels like a Scooby Doo villain. And then you got Flash Gordon, who I'm like, yo, stay in space, man. Stay in outer space. But then
did
the
did he
Phantom,
not have a gun?
Who? Flash Gordon?
Yeah. Oh,
I think it,
it's Lothar. Don't know who Lothar is. He is the fourth.
that's the fourth member.
He is the fourth. Yeah, I
You
believe.
could gun to my head. Show me a picture of this character.
Uh, uh,
Pull the trigger.
he's Mandrake's assistant and bodyguard, depicted as a
Oh
powerful
my!
fighter.
Please don't tell me he's black.
The action figures packaging describes Lothar as a Caribbean ninja.
Ah! We're canceled, bro. We're canceled.
I just love the idea of Caribbean ninja.
Caribbean. What does
I
that
don't know
mean?
what that
What does that
means.
mean?
Yeah,
Julio Anta. We gotta get Julio on the show right now. Julio,
yeah,
explain this character,
he
please.
is a bald black man.
He's a, but he's Caribbean. He's
But
Caribbean, man.
I'm also seeing another sort of picture of him that doesn't put him in the best light. He's wearing like a singlet. The bottom of the singlet's red. Top of the singlet is jungle colored. And he's wearing a little fez.
Does he look better than Mr. Popo?
Yes, slightly though. It looks like they would have went to school together. But that's all I can say about that. And for some strange reason, I've just bumped into a fan art of what The Rock could look like if he was Lothar.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Oh my.
they weren't getting this off the ground. But I did again. I dug him in this, and again I remember in the theme song, like they would just whisper who the like who was in the show. They would sing something about them, like, "Oh yeah, they got the cool powers or whatever," and then they go, "The Phantom."
Yeah, and they would show him, and then like they'll show like animal signets over him.
Yeah,
He was like, oh, that was cool. That was cool because around that time, I don't know if you know this show. You ever heard of like Manimal?
oh,
Oh man, oof!
Animal,
That show bombed,
like
but
Animal Man.
conceptually, kind of, but worse,
Okay,
way worse. Like this dude, basically, I forget how he gets the powers to like get the powers of certain animals, kind of like Animal Man or what you just said, but it was
yeah,
so much worse. He only could do like like he'd do like a snake or a bird or like he could think of like the strength of a gorilla. The show lasted like 8 episodes, but in my 8-year-old brain, when I saw it on TV a couple times, it was amazing to me. But
yeah,
I watch it
and to
now.
you, it might as well had 3,000 episodes. You don't know what
Right.
how long some of this stuff goes on.
Exactly. Hmm.
Um, uh, Kit shows up at Diana's at the uncle's newspaper headquarters.
Yeah, we went way off the
Yeah, that's
rails. I
fine.
love it. I love it. I love it.
He stops by and meet up with Diana. Actually, surprised Diana, right? Like Diana, and during the meeting, Diana's wealthy, oblivious suitor, Jimmy Wells, that we talked about, played by
Mhm.
Content, casually mentions a strange artifact matching their description. I thought he was one of those dudes who just wants to be part of the conversation. You know, I didn't think he was
Yeah.
right about where the skull was. I thought he was one of those people who was like, "Oh, you're looking for that? I know where it is." And it was going to be
Right.
revealed that it's bullshit. He legitimately knew where it was. It
Yeah.
was in the fucking museum. That was
Yeah.
really, really funny.
He kind of reminded me of what happened in like Zootopia too. If you've seen that.
No, I haven't seen Zootopia 2.
You ever seen it? Well,
But what's
basically, it
interesting
turns
is,
out like that one of the characters who you thought was just a bumbling idiot, like really knows everything that's happening.
all I know is that the Zebros are currently both champions in the, in the world.
Zebros!
The Zebros are the world heavyweight champions of the world. World heavyweight champions of the world. What's funny in this again, like you can't tell me that this wasn't trying to be a comedy at any point. Is he's like,
I took it as it's just part of the camp of the
yeah,
source material of that time.
yeah,
I don't think this was supposed to make you go ha ha ha. It's supposed to just make you go, oh, they put in some brevity, but
yeah.
not it's not comedy.
And it's not pointing at. I think it's just pointing at the absurdness of stories of that time.
Sure.
Because what happens is he's like, oh, I found the skull, but it was green. And then all of a sudden, like Kit gets serious and he's like, green, maybe it was Jade. And if it's Jade, it could be whatever. And then old girl looks at him like, what are you talking about? Because she's not supposed to know nothing about any of this stuff.
Right,
He's
right,
like,
right.
oh, like it's just really obvious that he.
Right.
Again, if there's any question as to how she figured it out, I think there were several fucking points of evidence. This being one of them, when he got super serious about finding these skulls, and like had all this information on them, by no one else having that information. So they rush to the museum under the cover of night, and they find the skull thing, and we need to get it. And she's like, okay, my dad knows the person who runs this museum. I think if we give it some time, and he just smashes the fucking display case and starts to steal it. Um, I had a bunch of thoughts. I was like, that was a bit impulsive. I was like, the caucasity of what's going on right now, stealing from the thieves. What's going on? But as I'm like, this is so impulsive and this is so like unnecessary. The second he gets his hands on it, Drax is there. So Drax was
Right.
coming. He was gonna grab it first. Maybe this was a good
Right.
idea. I'm not 100% sure,
Yes.
but uh, Drax is able to seize the Jade Skull, and he kind of like puts in his bag together with the one that Quill brought from the jungle. We're two skulls down, looking good.
Nope.
But then he connects the two skulls together, and like it starts to like glow. Another thing is there is some like really early CGI in this. I didn't rub up against
Yes.
any of it in a bad way. Like I've definitely seen worse use, especially around this time when you think about stuff like in Spawn.
Well, in this is where it started to really remind, like budget wise, remind me of The Shadow.
Okay.
If you remember when we talked about The Shadow, the beginnings of the movie, the CGI and all the special effects were amazing.
Yeah.
But then by the end, when the
Yes.
special effects got
Yes.
worse because you could tell like the checks were like getting smaller and smaller from day to day.
That's interesting. I
That's
do
how I
want to
felt.
know. Yeah, they were like,
That's how I felt about this. Whereas like, oh, now we're getting towards the end, and the CGI is getting the little bit of is getting worse because they just you could tell. All right, because everything in this movie is practical,
yeah,
and practical, especially even at that time, was very expensive. So
yes,
then to throw in some computer effects at the end, we got to save some money here, guys. Because that's where I started to be like, oh wow, because I didn't even remember the two skulls coming together to do something.
yeah,
I only remember once the three and then the big reveal at the end happening. I didn't remember that. Oh, each time they connect, something happened,
yeah.
and
And it
boy,
also
was it obvious.
very strange though, because they connect, and what happens
Mhm.
is a focused beam of energy comes out of the eye sockets, and it burns a path across a wall map and pinpoints the exact location of the third and final skull.
Thank
How?
God there was a map
I
there.
about to say how? How did it know that there was a map? How did it know where on the map? Because this could have been a map of anything, right?
Right,
Where on the map? But this is like if you're asking those questions, you're watching the wrong movie. That's how this
right,
felt, and
right.
it just made again it made me laugh because I'm like it's ridiculous on the face of it, but this is what would have happened in it's the whole like the secret book, right?
Mm.
Opening the secret entrance. Like, yeah, no one's
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
picked that book up by
Well, yeah, it
mistake. No
was.
one's ever.
A lot of people like you compare this immediately, especially with the writing, since the writer, I believe you said he was part of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Think I always like people love The Last Crusade. They talk about how perfect it is, but I always love the fact that people can point out the fact that if you take Indiana Jones out of that
Oh
movie,
yeah.
the movie still happens.
Yes. He does nothing
And
to stop what's
yeah,
going on.
including I even now when I rewatch it, I always laugh at the part where he does get the pendant on the stick
Yeah.
and knows to put it there and wait for the sun to set so he can show him where to
Hmm.
go. I always thought how ridiculous that was. But then this movie shows how let's take it another level of ridiculousness and
And the
have
thing
this
is,
laser find the map that tells you where to go.
you can sit here and like roll your eyes and be like, "Ooh, that's a very strange sort of like the plot device to get them to where they got to go next." And you would think, right? 1996, you go a couple decades later, screenwriters will improve upon this tenfold. And then you
Mhm.
get to fucking Rise of Skywalker, and they find a
Oh my.
knife that if you point in a certain direction shows you exactly where the hell you have to go.
Where a crash landing happened
Yes,
and the
yeah.
waves perfectly line up. Oh,
It,
it's
yeah.
right there.
So maybe they were big Phantom fans as well. Maybe that's what happened.
Phantom Menace,
It,
Phantom,
oh my
Star Wars.
gosh.
It all comes together,
And
man.
guess what? One of the Indiana Jones films was eventually about Crystal Skull. You understand? So like all is coming together.
It's all
People
connected.
owe Billy Zane an apology and a bunch of money and a truckload of wigs. I think is what we got to give this man.
I think he's accepted the bald head now. So
Yeah. Okay.
something I don't know, Phantom
I
rings or
was just
something.
watching someone showed the clip. I completely forgot because I burned it out of my mind of Professor X losing his hair because of Apocalypse. He's
Oh,
getting
I'm behind. I'm behind. No
no, this is
spoilers.
from Apocalypse, the movie Apocalypse.
Like you said, then I burnt it out of my mind. You're
Yeah,
right. I forgot
no,
that. I forgot
the
that.
movie Apocalypse. As he's
That's
trying to
right.
do like a
Oh,
body transfer,
yes,
he loses all his
yes,
hair.
yes, yes. We've talked about
No, the
this,
show
man.
wouldn't have done that because that's absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Similar to how he touched Storm and got her hair to be white. Very strange movie.
I
This is yeah.
and
This is that's and like I said, like this respects the jungle way more than that respected Egypt. Is all I'm gonna say. So yeah, they get the beam. Lucky, we found it's on an uncharted island known as the Devil's Vortex, which again sounds ridiculous. He's like, "Oh, we've got to go to the Devil's Vortex," and I'm like, "You would go to a place
I've
called the
been there.
The
I've been
Devil's
there.
Vortex." Yeah, I guess they were also trying to make it seem like it was what's the word? Like the Bermuda Triangle,
Yes.
like where ships have
Every
stuff have disappeared.
when they said it, I immediately also then thought of like Pirates of the Caribbean when they have the
Oh
fight
yeah,
in the
that's pretty
vortex. I'm
cool.
like, ooh, they're gonna see Jack Sparrow. Let's
Yeah,
go.
no, that's pretty cool. Another thing that they changed for this is that I guess in the comic or the strip, the jungle was like near Africa, and the jungle in this one is a Chinese jungle, which by the pirates and everything not being too far from itself. That was their sort of. I don't know if they were. I don't know if they were
Listen,
having an
man.
issue with villainization.
Europeans, anytime they see like tall trees, they're just like it's a freaking jungle,
Yeah,
man.
that's it.
Europe ain't exactly covered in jungle, so you
Yeah,
know.
I think this was filmed in Australia too. I know they have a lot of the bush out there. They can film in. Um, Drax and his men leave the duo to be executed by the crooked police waiting outside. Kit manages to break free of his restraints, slip away to change into the Phantom, which happens very quickly.
Come on,
And
that thing
executes.
slips on and off.
Yeah, he executes a daring escape from the corrupt NYPD by leaping across Manhattan rooftops and onto a moving pier. Meanwhile, Sala deduces that Diana is the Phantom's personal weakness. Taking advantage of this, she flies Drax, Quill, and a Captain Diana out to New York City towards the Devil's Vortex. I love that they're just like in a shitty. They treat it like a boat. I mean, a plane ride like it's a carpool event. Like
Yep.
they're driving to fucking Disneyland and they're like, stop talking and like, don't make me turn this around.
Again, very Indiana Jones-ish, right? Because
Yeah,
Indiana Jones treated flying across the planet like just going to dots.
yeah.
Remember? It's
They
not
they
not.
they there's so much intercontinental travel going on in this. At this point, the goons in the back are just literally having sandwiches, having a drink, chilling
Mhm.
out. They do this every Tuesday. Um, so they leave the city completely unaware that the Phantom had managed to hitch a ride by clinging to the bottom of the seaplane, where he chills out for the entire flight overseas, as you would.
He's a, I mean, if you drink like 2 bottles of water, you should be fine.
I also missed the part that I joked about earlier, where they are doing where he's trying to save her initially, and they're trying to take the plane, and the plane gets shot down, and all the fuel falls out. So he's like, we gotta find a way to land this and not kill
Hmm.
anybody. And that's when he signals for his horse, and the horse just kind of
Yeah.
like runs alongside the fucking plane. It,
Hmm.
the, it looked daring. I was very concerned for everyone
No.
involved. I didn't want the horse to
Yeah.
get clipped by the fucking plane and all that kind of stuff. It was a manufactured drama, but I found myself really buying into, can they land
No,
on this horse?
I really liked it because again, it was practical. I don't think there was if there was any I don't think there was any CGI.
I
I
think it's
want to
one
say
of
it
those
was
things of like compositing. Like they might have one scene
yes,
with the horse
yes.
and one scene with the plane kind of coming down.
Or it could have just been a film trick, right? Where they're like the horse is here, but the plane is here, but then
Yeah,
you just turn the camera and it makes it look like they're on top of each other.
yeah.
And then just some editing. I the practicality of this movie I really loved. But I thought it was interesting how the plane still manages to cause a giant explosion when it crashes,
Yes.
despite the fact of having no fuel.
No, yeah, absolutely no fuel. And also it was like, he's like, yeah, just jump down to the thing. And she's like, what? He's like,
Yeah,
yeah, just
the
fucking
pontoon. Go on the pontoon.
like don't even worry about it. And she's like, okay, fuck it. I'm like, you guys are
Well,
yeah, bugging the hell
what is she
out.
gonna do? Like, I'll die or jump.
Yeah, that's true. Um, So director Simon Windsor wasn't the studio's first choice for this film. They actually wanted veteran director Joe Dante, who directed Gremlins. He was originally
Oh,
attached.
Joe Dante.
Joe
Yes, Joe
Dante,
Dante.
sorry. He was originally attached to direct a significantly more comedic, satirical take on the script. When Paramount delayed production by a year, Dante had exited due to scheduling conflicts, although he ultimately retained an executive producer credit on the final film. That's why I
Mm,
feel like maybe they left some of his stuff in and
yeah,
didn't realize that it was satirical and just played it straight, which made it even funnier in a way.
right.
They point out like some of the overacting that Billy Zane does when he's like looking for stuff, or even his like little prowl, like his little fucking like sneaking
Well,
around
I like that because I
stuff.
thought that played to. I think they, if not with the Phantom, that era's style of filmmaking.
Yeah,
Where if you watch what's it, the Charlie Chaplin or any of those silent film stars, like the old school Batman and even Captain America serials, where there was no sound, there was limited stuff, so they would purposely overact everything to show you how much more dramatic it was. Where when you watch it now in this movie, it comes across comedic because it's like, dude, you don't need to do that.
right.
But I think he was paying homage to those old films.
100%. And then me growing up with the Batman films that I did and the cowl, everything was dramatic, right? You had to like look
Right.
all the
Hmm.
way around and look up because you
Or
couldn't move your
or
neck.
not just not even before that. Adam West and
Reward.
Burt Ward
Yeah,
and the Batman show. Everything. I mean, think about him running around with a bomb.
yeah. You think if you have a problem with like old school heroes having child sidekicks, this guy has a wolf. Like that's pretty badass. He got a wolf named Double.
I I love it. He's got a wolf named Double. He's like, remember early in the movie, he's like, if he moves, eat him. Like,
Yes.
oh shit. I
Also,
really
like
wanted to see. I
I,
wanted to see him to come back and find his bones. I thought that would have been
I
funny.
love that at one point he needs help, so the dog goes and tells the horse. Like the
Yeah.
dog like
Oh,
runs over and
yeah,
it's like,
yeah. And,
yo.
I would have loved like subtitles in that scene, like where the horse like, I gotta save this mother again.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm on break.
Yes. Also, are horses jungle animals? Like, where did he get that horse
No,
from? Where did he get that fucking horse from? Are wolves in the jungle? Wolves don't
he
live in the
ordered it
jungle, do they?
on Amazon. He's
Yeah,
like, I
right.
need a horse.
And
Jeff, help.
send it to this secluded Chinese uh thing. Like, I thought you were supposed to be against like uh gluttony and piracy. He's like, this is for the job. It's a
I
job
need it.
expense. It's a
I need
horse.
transportation, please.
Don't you see the description? It says it can outrun a plane. We need we need this. We definitely need this. The seaplane touches down at a hidden pirate cove inside the misty waters of the Devil's Vortex. This feels like Tortuga in
Right.
Pirates of the Caribbean and all that kind of stuff. Drax meets face to face with the sinister Kabai Singh, played by Kari Karaoke Tagawa, aka Shang Tsung. On the game,
Love it.
I didn't know he was in this. I was very
I
happy.
forgot. I mean, when I would have seen this as a kid, I don't think I should have recognized him
Yeah,
from Mortal Kombat, but I don't think I did.
he's been in a whole host of stuff, but even when I
Yeah.
saw this at this time, the first thing that came to my mind was Mortal Kombat. I don't know what else would have come to my mind from this actor. I know I've seen him in
I
other stuff,
don't.
but he is Shao Kahn to me.
Yeah. No, no. You Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung, sorry, yeah, he don't have the skull. He don't have the sledgehammer.
Huge difference in names, man.
Oh
How
my
dare
god,
you
they're gonna
confuse
get in the
them?
comments now, and they're gonna get crazy. Don't make me bring back the Luthor conversation. We'll get crazy up in here. But this is when like they try to be touchy and handsy with Diana,
Yeah.
and Catherine Zeta-Jones is like, nah, us girls
And
need to stick together. And I'm like, I
right.
want that movie. What's going on over there?
Yes. I that always every time I see this happen in a movie, you know the comedian Eddie Griffith?
Yeah. Oh, I love that girl.
Yeah. Yes. Do you ever you see when he talks about like King Kong getting the woman?
No.
He compares it to like anytime a black man gets a white woman, it's like when King Kong gets his white bitch.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like, I got
yeah.
my white bitch.
Oh,
I got my white
he
bitch.
grabbed him up. They just try to like, yeah, they just thought that these women were there as like part of the deal. They just started
Yeah.
kind of grabbing all up on them. But I feel like old girl changed really kind of quickly.
Yes.
Catherine Zeta-Jones character, Sala, I think I called her early on.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
am I wrong in thinking that was like a kind of like a light switch kind of babyface turn there?
Oh, big time. Big time. But I wonder again, I don't know anything about the source material, so I don't know if that's something that does happen in the strip or something, or that's something that was very just progressive of this screenwriter to be like, yo, let's make the two girls like their own powerhouse, duo
Yeah,
and kick ass on their own. Because that's think about nowadays, especially what we just
groundbreaking.
experienced with Supergirl. With Supergirl, people mob like proudly, happily describing how the movie bombed, quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote, because we still don't really know the full
Finances.
uh, finances of that movie. But yet you go back 30 years and you see these two very, at the time, Kirsty Swanson and Catherine Zeta-Jones are names in the industry,
Yeah.
making a feminine duo.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why this movie also bombed.
Oh my God, they went woke and they got broke, bro.
That's it. That's
Patient
it.
zero. It was the Phantom all along.
Mm-hmm. It makes
Um,
sense. But it also that also makes me sad. It's just like, oh shit, don't go see this movie because like, it has women like taking care of themselves and kicking ass on
being
their own.
friends and saying that they don't need men to unnecessarily touch them. That's what made them villainous in
Yeah.
this. But uh, this very ruthless pirate gang, they all speak English. They all speak perfect English. They don't need any
Well, of
translators.
course.
All villains
Well, no,
speak
you know what it
English.
is. It's this they had universal translators in their ears.
Ah,
So
that's what it was. Okay. But this is when he's like, "You idiots! If I have a skull, sure, and if you put them together, maybe you have three. There's actually four. There's a fourth skull." And I'm like, "Why now are you revealing that there's a fourth skull?" And then I'm like, "Is it like literally the Phantom? Like, is he as a person, like as
mm,
an entity, the fourth skull?" I already had it in my mind of what it could possibly be, but this is they one of the guys tries to like cut his own deal because this is going terribly for Drax. He's trying to talk to the pirate and get his
right.
third skull, and it's not going well. The guy's like, "I don't care for you. I don't need you. I'm not giving you anything. Even if you had all three, you'll probably die because you don't have the fourth." That's the one that actually controls them and kind of stuff. He's not able to broker a deal, and so like his second in command tries to broker his own deal, and it's like, screw it, I'll take whatever you got, and we can make a deal. And he threatens him. He pulls out the gun and he's like, "I will kill you if you don't just give me the skull or whatever." And so they shoot him with a cannonball. They shoot a man from like 10 feet away. Cannonball. And again, I'm like, I'm loving this. This to me is like the Six Flags show at 6 o'clock. You go and you sit down and you watch just this scene of
Right.
them swinging on ropes, shooting cannonballs
That's
at
it.
each other, and throwing the most overdramatic punches. Because again, there's no hurricanranas, there's no kung fu. No one's flipping over each other's backs. It's just haymakers,
Yep. I
CTE
love it.
inducing haymakers from absolutely everybody.
It's
Um,
fine. You
and
go you go get prescribed like some oxycodone and
yeah,
a bottle of Jack and you're fine.
there's a moment in this where the NYPD is hot on the Phantom's trail, and he just jumps off of his horse into a bush. Like
Yeah.
he just fucking jumps.
Right.
It's like,
Shit that like basically killed Christopher Reeve
yeah.
finds
I
this
just
guy.
love that he's not invulnerable. He's not impenetrable. He doesn't have, what's it called? A nanotech anything. He doesn't have any
Nothing.
sort of, EMPs or anything that's useful. He has the guns, he has a couple of animals and stuff like that. And he often finds himself hanging from some sort of vehicle for a lot
Yeah.
of this. But he's not giving up.
Nope.
He's about that life. Um, the other thing is this guy, Kabal Singh, has murdered a Phantom before. What he said, but also James Remar has murdered a
Right. It
Phantom
seems
before.
like everybody murdered a Phantom.
Yeah. So this is when it's been kind of revealed that the Phantom is not a one immortal man, but it is a mantle passed
A
down
mantle. Hmm.
from father to son over the years. And so James Remar killed his father, which was also strange because when they were starting to like lay that out, it just sounded like he stabbed him. It didn't sound like he killed him. He was like, "This is
Right.
the hole in which I stabbed the Phantom." And then later on, his dad was like, "Oh, whatever happened to whatever?" He's like, "Oh, I got stabbed in the back or whatever." I was like,
Right.
"Oh," and it's like, "Oh, well, then again, in the 30s, a stab wound would kill you like that would back in
Right.
those days."
But also like the fact that we have to have this conversation about the mystique of this
Yeah,
character, I think is part of what makes the character mysterious. Because you're
yeah,
like, wait, nothing about this makes sense. Well, good. You want that about think about Batman, right? Because the character who also came out around the same time. So you're telling me some rich guy wears a bat costume
yeah,
and he goes and beats people up at night, and it seems like sometimes he maybe dies, but he doesn't die because he jumped off a building, but he survived because we
yeah.
see him the next day. It's that whole motif, like
It's funny because it's
that.
a legend, but then he also is not taking it seriously. Cabal's saying is like not really like, not like, man. I'm just like, oh, like I killed the fan. I'm like, what is he? What is
Right.
he back here doing? Um,
I really liked the way they played like that villain. That not everybody's in fear and awe like James Remar did.
yeah,
And for him, it was just like, oh, I gotta kill you again. You know,
yeah.
I like that.
Also, like the by this is no internet. There's no right, there's no internet. There's no sort of like whatever. He's just chilling at home, and then a bunch of people show up at his doorstep and are like, "Hey, that thing that you have underneath all the gold coins, we need that." Like no, like he's very inconvenienced by all this. He has no skin in the
Right.
game. He's not trying to get all the skulls and combine them to make anything. He's literally sitting on his couch when these people show up demanding things of him. So uh, yeah, it goes there.
Reminds me very much of like Bane. Bane
Yeah,
chilling on his island during the Tom King run,
yeah, he
and they
doesn't.
just show up and they're like, "Yo, we need stuff." He's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa."
It's like, come on, yeah, I gotta get up. I
I
gotta
was
get
about
up
to
and shit.
watch TV. It's
Uh,
it's America's Got Talent, man. Can we watch this first?
they also say without the fourth skull, the three of them will consume mind of whoever uses it. We never see
Yes.
that happen in this.
Well, I mean, we kind of do.
I
We
mean,
kind of do.
does he get consumed or does he get evaporated? Something happens to him.
I mean, we don't. Again, with the CTE, we don't know what
That's
the
true.
effects of it are on Billy Zane.
Oh, yeah, yes, that's also true. So the Phantom crashes the meeting, which sparks an absolute free for all across the pirate docks. Everybody's fighting. He ends up fighting Quill.
Peter.
Oh, I forgot that he ends up fighting Quill and gets evaporated by the skull. He gets shot by the skull. And he
Mm-hmm.
gets evaporated. Singh is like this badass like ninja guy or whatever, and then he just like moves out of the way, or does he run up the wall or something like that? He
It
gets Singh to
tries to
fall
evade it.
into the shark
Yeah,
infested waters. I'm just like,
it's
this is the
it's like
worst day
you
of that man's
like
life.
right like which way did you want to die?
This is the worst day of this man's life. He just didn't want these people in his crib stealing his shit. Now he's, in the shark infested waters. Um, Tala is like, through this. She teams up with Diana and they help punch out and disarm the remaining mercenaries.
Mm.
Drax finally manages to snap all three of the skulls together. The collective energy is completely volatile. This is when I talk about the beam streaming out, killing Quill. Everybody stops. I feel like the record scratches and everybody's like, oh shit, they could kill people. Um,
We thought it was just a cat laser pointer. It turns out it kill people.
yeah,
You
you
know.
gotta focus it like a magnifying glass, and
Right. Right.
it'll take them out. Um, he ends up like kind of turning the skull onto the Phantom. He is in full mustache twirling villain mode now.
Yeah.
He's
Hmm.
monologuing. He's walking
Yeah.
towards. He's got everything that he needs.
You got me monologuing.
Yeah, and then you basically could hear like the Mark Ruffalo like, that's my secret. Fucking
Right.
Drax.
Right. Right.
I'm the fourth skull or whatever. And he points his
Right.
ring. We find out, like I said again, the biggest secret is that the Phantom is not an immortal ghost. The lineage has been passed down for 21 generations. The boy on the beach was the first, and he's simply the last man in the mask, or the latest man in the mask, I should say. More
Right.
importantly, the ring is the actual missing fourth skull. So he channels the ring's ancient magic and creates a protective barrier reflecting the energy blast directly at the artifacts. This is just very strange because the blast is very thin. And then at
Yeah.
one point, I have the thought, and I brought this up to you once when you were by the house. I think I put on Dark Phoenix at one point, or I was watching Dark Phoenix and it came by. And I made the joke that there's a scene between Jean Grey and Magneto where
Right.
they are fighting for control over this fucking
The
helicopter.
helicopter.
But without
They're
special
both just.
effects, it's just two people going. That's what's going on here. It's one guy going, and the other guy going here. And I'm thinking to myself, in terms of the skull, like, you can't make it shoot more. Like, you can't, you can't, like, through willpower shoot more, but he seems like he's trying to.
It's
At one
no.
point,
I am one with the force, and the force is with me, man. Come on.
my God, at one point he becomes 45 degrees. He's at a 45-degree angle.
He's like, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
Yeah, he's shooting his beam at a 45-degree angle, and I'm like, what is going on? And then in like a Dragon Ball Z beam battle, you just see the Phantom has more energy in his ring.
I don't know. I would have loved to have seen like Patrick McGowan or his father come in that moment, a la like during the Cell Saga, where
yes.
Goku comes behind
Yeah.
Gohan and just helps him shoot the final Kamehameha.
It should have been like all the ghosts of all the old Phantoms.
Oh,
right? Like,
yeah,
all behind him and stuff like that. And then it just, I guess it just blows him up and blows up. Right? It blows him up. It blows up the skulls. The skulls are gone for those precious ancient.
Wait. Are they? I thought the skulls survived.
Did the skulls survive? Did someone pockets them?
I don't remember. In my mind, I felt like he probably gets them. I think
it, but because you see the whole big fire, maybe it broke apart. Maybe it broke apart into the three pieces.
I gotta check it out again.
But yeah, he definitely like blows up, and then all that energy just seemingly, I guess the rest of the pirate ship was just full of like fuel because the whole plane just goes up in flames. Multiple stuntmen on trampolines jumping and doing the whole like jumping out of fire kind of stuff. Again, just making me think of the universe, Six Flags, and going and watching, the Phantom stage play.
I saw it as, hey guys, we're done with this movie. What do we do with the film sets? Blow them up.
Yeah,
we don't need them again. Just blow this shit up.
And so they're like, okay, well, screw it. I got the girl, and the girl's got the girl, so we'll just leave. Which, like, I don't know a better ending than that. I don't know a better ending than like, while I was saving the girl, she got a girl, and now we're just gonna go to the jungle.
In that case, that reminded me of how the Legend of Korra ends.
Yeah,
where no one ends up with Korra, but Korra walks off with, I forget the other girl's name. If you've seen it,
I've not seen it.
He instead of her ending up with a guy, which upset some fans, she walks off into the sunset with the female of character. But they never clearly say that they're together, but they're very comfortable with each other. And people to this day are like, that was one of the worst endings ever. I go, why?
No, I totally dug this. I thought this was very funny, and also like reading the room. Like, of course that woman would have been like, oh my God, all these people are fucking crazy.
Right.
You know what vibes? I had written it down. I think I put it on my phone, but I didn't put it in my notes. Initially, I got very Boris and Natasha vibes from James Remar and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Like old school Rocky and Bullwinkle, mustache twirling villain, and the girl in the hat and the coat and all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad that she switched sides. This side just looks better for her.
Okay.
With the world safe, the trio returns to the peaceful beaches of Bengala. Standing on the shore, Diana drops a bombshell of her own as she reveals that she knows his secret identity is Kit Walker. Because she's like, or like, before I kiss you, let me see your face, or something like that. Or something like that. And he's like, I can't. He's like, show me Kit. And he's like, oh fuck, she knows who I am. How did you know?
Who's Kit? Who's Kit?
Time? Yeah. And so he's like, fine, I'll take off the mask. And then the first thought in my mind, because it was in almost every scene, I'm like, yeah, it's like a metric ton of eye makeup underneath that domino mask. I wonder what's gonna happen here. No, he just takes off the mask. There's no.
Remember, it reminds me of like when Bruce Wayne, when Michael Keaton takes off the mask in
like
Batman Returns.
He
takes like a fruit roll up and his face is clean. It's like, no, you had black makeup on, dude.
You totally had black makeup on, bro. It's in that belt or whatever, the skull belt. or something. Because he's got his dad's skull belt back. There's a scene where he's talking to his dad in the cab, and the
Yep.
cabbie's like, "Oh my god, the person I got has CTE. This is, and I don't even know what CTE is.
Right,
Benoit thing
right.
hasn't happened yet." But yeah, like love Ghost Dad. Um, he says that the ancient rule of his station is he can only share his full face and all the secrets that he has with the woman that he intends to marry. And she says, "And what if that woman refuses?" Which is hilarious because she doesn't give him an answer. He's about to leave his ass on Bengala. But his answer to "and what if a woman refuses" is "no one refuses the Phantom," or "you can't refuse the Phantom." One of those two non-consensual statements that he made. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but I thought that was very funny as well. Because even when he says "no one" or "you can't refuse the Phantom," Diana smiles, but she ultimately just leaves and goes back to her life um, in New York with Sala, I guess. Maybe there's
Hmm.
a spin-off there where they become roommates and she starts working at Central Perk. It becomes a whole fucking it becomes
I'll
a
be there
yeah,
for
it becomes a whole
you.
thing. Um Kit stands by the water looking a bit disheartened, but then the proud ghost of his father. No, you can hear his father saying like, "And even though she left, I think she's gonna come back." Or whatever. He says
I thought he said, "Remember who you are."
Simba. No, he legitimately says something along the lines of, "Leave it to my dumbass son to let a beautiful woman slip
Two,
right through his
two, two, two
slip
of
right through
them.
his fingers. But I something tells me that she'll be back soon," or something like that. That's just basically it. And yeah, she's gonna return when the time is right, and that was kind of it. I like I said again, I really enjoyed this film. It was really funny to
Mhm.
me. And it's one of those things. I forget how many '90s movies just existed to it. We live in a world right now where every single film is getting put under a microscope or under whether or not it deserves to exist, whether or not it
Right.
should even be
Well,
made.
this movie, Billy Zane was signed to do three of these.
Oh wow. Okay.
So they did want this to be, as they say, a tent pole,
Yeah.
but they didn't make it obvious, at least not to me,
Yeah.
because back in those days, no sequels were ever really guaranteed. So the movie ends, even when the movie ended with the whole idea that, oh, she'll be back, it was always like, you play that part in your mind. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, she'll be back and they'll be happy, and that's the end of it.
Mm.
Not this, we now need to know that we're going to get a sequel. It better be announced in 2 weeks. They
Post
better start
credit,
filming it in 3 months,
post
or
credit
post-credit
scene, and all
scene
that
that
kind of
says it's
stuff. Yeah.
coming. This
Yeah, you let your
ends in a
mind
way that,
wander. You let your
yeah.
mind wander as to what could happen next. What's also kind of interesting is that um, I'm glad, and I heard there were rumors that there was going to, but I'm glad this didn't get a remake. I
Yeah.
felt like
Well,
this would have landed like the RoboCop that they ended up doing
mhm,
later on and stuff like that, or the. I mean, I like Dread. I thought Dread was pretty cool,
yes.
pretty
Yes.
good. But you could imagine like the Phantom trailer with Saliva, you know what I'm saying? And like it just of that era. You can imagine like of that era, and they would say like, "Oh, we can't make him purple," or "the purple suit has to be CGI." They would
Right.
have the horse is not really a horse; it's a motorcycle or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
they would
yeah,
have
yeah,
found
yeah,
some
yeah.
kind of weird way to take away the campiness of this. When I think committing to the campiness of it, committing to the idea that a dog and horse can talk, because I want to live in that world, right? I want to live in a world where a dog and a horse can be friends. Like just that in and of itself, that's a world I want to live in, and I'm happy that they did not shy away from allowing this to be silly. And when I say be silly, I don't mean dumb. I don't mean childish. I don't mean any of those things. I think adults are allowed to be silly too. I think
Yeah.
things are allowed to be absurd, and you can point out that things are being absurd without disrespecting it. And I felt like this really walked that tightrope in between um, being campy, but also like everyone in this movie took their part seriously. Drax is 100% serious. I mean, he's doing 90s salesman kind
Yeah.
of stuff, but he's serious about what he's doing.
Yeah.
Same thing with "Oh Girl Who Don't Need No Man." Nala is a badass. She owns her own space women pirates or air pirate people.
Hmm.
Um,
She reminded me of Don Carnage from Tailspin.
yeah, yeah. I don't think that I don't think that
Bring down the plane.
I don't think that that's that wrong. That would have came out a couple years before this. I want to say,
The Tailspin was around the same time, yeah.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I thought this was very fun. I thought it was ridiculous. I also got vibes of what eventually will become the Mummy in this.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like this
Wow,
has
you're
a
right.
lot of the Mummy vibes, and the
Because
Mummy was
the
able
first
to,
Mummy was like what, 98?
yeah. But you take off, and again, it's you don't have to. It had to be in this because of the property that it was. If you take off that purple suit, you put him in one of those Rick O'Connell fucking outfits with the handkerchief, the
Mm-hmm.
suspenders. It's the same. It is the
Yep,
Mummy.
it is.
You know,
Yep, yep.
like, and it's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, ancient artifacts and a secret evil or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When the skulls connect, I'm thinking I feel like at one point they tease like maybe even demons talking, like they're hearing a voice from beyond, like something's gonna
Right.
open. No, it just shoots laser.
Just shoots a laser. Yeah,
Not to be
and
confused with
yeah.
the first laser, which just is a helpful laser. The first laser is a
Right.
helpful laser.
Right.
Second laser, do not stand in front of it. This side towards
Yeah.
enemy, because you will vaporize your best friend Quill, and no one wants to see there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm down to, like, after a couple beers, chill and watch this with friends. I think that
Yeah,
is one of
this
those
is
kind of
exactly.
films.
I totally feel that way about this one. The same thing I think I said with The Shadow, even though I think a lightning storm blew me out of that one,
Yeah.
which sucked.
And then
But yeah,
we just did the Rocketeer not that long ago on this podcast. And I feel like that has
yes.
similar vein
Hmm.
to it. Sometimes you got to punch evil people in the face. That's
That's it.
just a lot of what these comics were back in the day. And yeah, you just don't question it. A lot of this you just don't question. In a world where, you know, Supergirl, for example, right? You brought up. There's a part in that film where it is revealed that Kara grew up on Argo, right after the destruction of Krypton.
Mhm. Right.
In most cases, Kara grew up on Krypton, then Argo gets blown away from Krypton and it becomes its own sort of, you know, encapsulated place. She goes on a ship to go after Cal and ends up in the Phantom Zone or something else or whatever. The reason why they changed that was because they felt like it would ask too many questions. They felt like they would have to explain what the Phantom Zone was, explain what, you know, Argo was, and that was too much. And then you get this film and you're like, where did the horse come from? Who trained the
Right.
dog? Who washes the purple outfit? You know what I'm saying? But you're not asking any of those questions. You just watch and you just buy the story as is. Hollywood's gotten too much in their own heads with how much of this stuff needs to be explained. Let it be ridiculous and let people just buy
Well,
it on the face of it.
I guess, but it also, because there are whole communities of people that will sit here and write monologues of why a movie is incorrect because it doesn't answer all these questions. But then the same people will respond and say, "Man, this movie was 18 hours long because you want to explain everything." It's like
Yeah.
you pick a side, man. Pick a side.
Yes. And you
Because
know,
that's another thing I loved about this movie. I think this movie was like barely over 90 minutes.
yeah, yeah, it was hour 40.
Yeah, I love that. Nowadays, because in the same vein, I was watching something about Troy, because you know with
Uh
Troy and the
uh
Odyssey.
yes, 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 yes.
But I forgot that Troy was 2 hours and 45 minutes,
Yeah.
and
Thank you.
and I'm like, oh, that's why I've never rewatched it.
That's funny.
Because I'm like, I ain't got that kind of time, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and this is a quick in and out, and it's fun, it has action, it has heart. Um did like all the things that I would have been annoyed by. I just think this film has a lot of charm. Maybe it's just the actors in it giving it
Yep.
their all. This is a very, very charming film, and you can't watch this film and not think, why hasn't Billy Zane been in more?
Yeah.
Maybe he has. Maybe he's just been in films
Oh,
underneath
he's
the
done a
radar.
ton. He's done a ton, but he's been relegated to like
Is he theater now
B
or
B
TV?
movies, B movies, and like just showing up in
I
shows.
wouldn't be
Like, let's
surprised if
see.
he's been in 40 issues of some sort of cop drama on, True TV or something. Like one of those just like
Yeah.
random Tampa
Oh,
PD or something.
he apparently he showed up in The Boys.
I believe that I can't for the life of you
Yeah,
tell
I
you
can't
when.
remember exactly where, but he probably did like in 1 or 2 episodes.
The Boys is the hardest thing to ever remember because they dropped the whole thing at once. So I see the whole thing in a week and then I never watch
Yeah.
those episodes again.
Right.
I'm really affected and moved for a week, and then and then I kind of forget. Like when you
Yep.
binge a comic versus sitting with a comic for a very long
Yes.
time.
It's one of
Um,
the reasons why I'm one of the few people I find that likes that everybody seems to be going back to stuff coming out weekly.
yeah.
I never liked, never from the very beginning when they started just dumping shows on whatever platform, I was like, oh no. Because even when they, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
But then I get to work and everyone's like, did you watch all 18 episodes they put out?
Yeah.
No.
It's literally
Shh.
it's impulse and it's FOMO. They've weaponized the fear of missing out, and they've weaponized first come first serve kind of thing where if I'm somebody for a comic book click that wants to write about it, I gotta watch the whole thing even if I don't have the time to because it might get spoiled for me. Something else might happen. But luckily
I
no
just
one
avoid spoilers.
no one spoiled the Phantom for me though. Strange. Lucky for that. All of this I got to see for the first time. Again, knowing nothing, not knowing anybody who was in it. Sincerely miss Frank and Sawyer, who were supposed to be on this episode. They both had something up. And I'm grateful that as we've proven in most cases when it comes to the Major Issues podcast, I am never alone. I'm glad that you were able to stop by and have this conversation about the Phantom with me because yeah, this is my first time watching this film. I had no other reason to watch it other than it being the 30th anniversary. If we would have missed this episode for whatever reason, I don't know if I would have got the inkling. I would have waited for another 10 years or waited for the
Mhm.
Defenders, for the like Jeff Lemire
Defenders of the
Defenders
Earth.
of the Earth comic that came out that where they all got like what's it called? Like a deep dissection into each one of their lives or something like
I
that.
I don't even think Jeff Lemire would make me want to know
No,
more about Mandrake.
the Rom V Mandrake book, you're not on that.
Sorry, pass, pass.
um yeah, so like whether or not these characters stand the test of time, I don't know. Whether or not they are meant to be evolved to stay in modern times, I don't know. I feel like this is the sweet spot. Tell the story in the era that the story was written. And all of the rest of it just kind of flows. All the rest of it just kind of goes. I'm glad that there's no cell phones in this world or email in this world,
Yep.
right? I'm glad that they
I mean, have you noticed that in general that there are a lot of movies and TVs that are purposely TV shows that are being purposefully set in worlds where they're like cell phone technology was either brand new or non-existent
that's
because
because
it just
that also, like you
ruins.
said, it also would just have the fans go, well, why didn't they just call somebody, or Google Map it, or go on Wi-Fi and write
Mhm.
this stuff down. Especially in horror films, it makes it a good point to have someone lose their phone or they get broken or something
Right,
like that, because then everything could just be answered by a fucking cell phone. So
right.
yeah, I love that this is just back to basics, back to punching and kicking, shooting but not killing, riding horses, hanging out with your wolf friend. I always wanted a wolf when I was a kid. I think that's why I have this whole thing about wanting a husky one day. I
Ooh.
want like a Balto-esque dog. They always just seem freaking cool. I'm not gonna have one here in Tampa because it's 138 degrees and it doesn't seem fair to have it.
I know people who do, and I look at those dogs and I feel so bad. I'm like, oh
I
my
hear it all the
God.
time, and people have told me like that other people do it. It just feels unfair. So yeah, I can't judge a man who couldn't settle between horse and wolf and has both. Like that's the kind of man I'm following. Show me where he's going. But I know also they didn't make it a big deal in here. They showed it really early on with James Remar, but another part of the Phantom is that he has the Phantom ring so that he can mark villains that he's encountered.
Yes, the James Remar, he has the skull on his face.
Yes.
He must
You
have
know
taken it.
how
Yeah.
hard you must hit a man to
Or
permanently
worse, or
implant.
worse, or worse. I was thinking he like heated it up first and then
That's
punched.
even
Like, oh
funnier
my.
because that means he has to wait. Like, hold on,
Yeah.
sir. If you just give me 5 more, you're really gonna get it.
Or he prepares like, oh, the bad guys are coming. Hold on.
Yeah. And then he
Let
puts
me
it on. He's like,
warm
tss,
this.
tss, fuck.
Okay, okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
But yeah, that's such a big part of that character. I thought he was gonna be doing it to everybody, just punching them and leaving
And it
skull
reminded me
marks.
of like the Batfleck
Yeah,
branding.
yeah,
Remember the whole bat thing? I was like, ooh, I like that. I like
yeah.
that.
But yeah, if they were ever to do this, I don't advise them to do it. But if they ever were to do it, they need to keep it in this era. They need to keep it as practical as possible. I don't want to see a cool remake of this. I think it deserves
Well,
to sit where it's at in
if
the
you
world.
are enjoying the Phantom, they did make a cartoon that came out around the same time of this,
Okay,
and it was Phantom 2040.
in the future.
Yes.
Okay,
And I think
They still
it's
have
funny that you mentioned
guns.
motorcycle. He still has guns, and I think instead of having a horse, he has like like a futuristic motorcycle.
Oh,
So
that's it.
I'm pretty sure you can find it on YouTube. It lasted like 3 seasons, so it's only a couple episodes or whatever.
That's really, really funny.
I'm after watching this movie, I kind of want to revisit it because I remember it coming on at like remember back in the days like they would show cartoons at like 6 in the morning on UPN.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I
I
feel
think I
like
remember.
I feel like there is value in us doing a like riff tracks for Defenders of the Earth. I think there's value in us watching Defenders of the Earth and just kind of BSing again, having a couple beers and just seeing what
It
it
would
has
be
to offer.
sure,
Yeah,
sure. I mean, let's see if we make it past the theme song.
yeah, 100%. But yeah, I wanted to tackle some of this stuff before we get really, really heavy. Spider-Man is right around the corner, and that's what's gonna like monopolize stuff for a while. And I feel like they
Yep,
have been waiting for Spider-Man to finish to start really ramping up the production, the promotion of
for
Doomsday.
of Doomsday. Yep,
Yes. For Doomsday to be as close as it is, we still haven't gotten an official. We got that kind of trailer, I guess, that they showed.
those
Where
four little vignettes.
yeah, yeah. And so, I feel like all that stuff is going to be coming in hot and heavy. DC's ramping
Yeah.
up with a lot of their stuff going on right now. We're still knee deep in Weapons of Armageddon, or just sorry, Armageddon, the event as it stands. There's a
Hmm.
lot of stuff going on, and I figured this was a cool time to tackle something that is not super time sensitive, but also is celebrating a milestone anniversary, 30 years. That's huge stuff. So it's really, really cool to come back after this and see it with new eyes, or I guess see it for the first time, right? So I think that all the intention is still there. I believe in all the effort that they put forth in this. I don't blame those who would have seen it and been like, not my cup of tea.
Hmm.
But I think I've just been a little bit tired of the samey sort of conveyor belt movie
Hmm.
that's happening now. All the third acts are kind of the same. That it just a punch 'em up where you're swinging on ropes and vaporizing men and laser beams and stuff like that. Just really,
And
really
that's it.
funny. Yeah, and
Yep.
that's it. And it's all done. And this not only is it all done, but this is like Tuesday. And he'll do this again next week against some other
Right.
fucking
Yeah,
mummy.
yeah, yeah,
He'll fight a
exactly.
mummy
That's
or something. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it's gonna be. And so this did feel like a long, elongated episode of a serial that you didn't have to be super attached to the villains. I knew
right.
nothing about Drax. I know nothing about him. I don't even know what
Nothing.
name the company that he owned.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't. If they may have said it once, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
but it wasn't a big
But
deal.
yeah, but like you said, I could totally imagine that like next week it's gonna be like, yeah, now I gotta go fight the Sasquatch from Palooka.
Yeah, yeah. Up,
You know?
someone's moved over some sacred rocks, and now I gotta go over
Yeah,
there
exactly,
and sick the dog on him or something.
exactly.
Um, but yeah, so I'm thankful that we are able to cover this. I'm thankful that you were able to stop by and have this chat up with me. But we are not stopping things over here as part of Comic Book Click. This is episode 440 of the Major Issues podcast. It's really, really far going on the road to 450 over here, and it's been a delight covering again the newest and hottest and latest and greatest things to come to comic books and comic book media, and also some retro stuff like this. I think the only thing now left for me to cover is the Spirit. I think that's the last. That's the
Did we ever
last.
do? Did we
Oh, we
ever
never
do
did
Dick
Flash
Tracy?
Gordon or
Dick
Dick
Tracy?
Tracy. Okay, that's a new triumvirate. Flash Gordon, Dick Tracy, the Spirit. So I did
All right.
Rocketeer, the Shadow, and the Phantom. So those three, the next three are going to be the ones that get penciled in for weeks that are a little bit slow, where we can sit down and kind of look back at these classics and see if they really hit. Um, but yeah, we got blockbusters coming on the way. We got a bunch of big comics that we're going to be talking about moving soon. X-Men 97 season 2 is everyone's talking about that. That's not even on the schedule yet because I think the last thing on the schedule so far for us is No Way Home or Brand New Day. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I've
Mhm.
got to get to the HQ and see what the next couple of episodes are gonna look like. I'm super excited for what we can cover moving on here.
I have been strategically dodging spoilers like you would not imagine, which is part of the reason why I missed messages.
Fair. 97. Have you been watching?
I watched the first episode and
Okay,
I was
okay,
so
okay.
tired that I know I have to watch it again.
I dig it. I dig it. I fell asleep on the third episode, but it's because I watched all three that they dropped that day or something like that. I just didn't have it in me at that time.
I'll probably catch up on all of it tonight, and I will send you a teary emotional
Please do. I think the
emoji.
biggest thing about it is like it's very mature. It's still very it's rare for me. Maybe this happened in your lifetime, but it's very rare for me to grow with a show. I feel like the show
Mhm.
is my age now, and it's talking to me at my age now. When it
Ooh.
always felt like it was above my head
Hmm.
when I watched it when I was younger.
Right.
Now everything and some of the line deliveries are just
Well, from
awesome.
what I hear, and I think you've heard me say, especially with one of the reasons why I hate X-Men Apocalypse so much, is that it seems like the original animated show and now this one, from what I'm hearing, finally puts respect on Apocalypse's name.
Yeah.
And I love that because the comic series that got me into the X-Men hardcore, like I had been into the X-Men before, but when Executioner Song came out, that showed how hard a character Apocalypse is
Why
because
did
the
I
whole
jump to the conclusion that was just about the ex? Why did I jump to the conclusion that was just about Executioner?
nope, he doesn't even debut until after that crossover happens.
Okay, all
That
right.
that is mostly about Cable, Strife, and Apocalypse. And Apocalypse in that is constantly on his heels,
Yeah,
but even on his heels, he's showing how deadly he is.
interesting.
And so then when I get X-Men Apocalypse, I finally see this villain on the big screen. You got bitched out. Boo.
Burning,
Oh,
burning. Talk about shows that didn't need computers and shit. Maybe that would have been a lot better if he didn't have laptops and shit when he was in that film. Um,
yep.
but we've done our thing on X-Men Apocalypse. I think we've covered every single X-Men film. Go back and go to comicbookclick.com, which is a one-stop shop for everything comic book click, to check out all the episodes of the Major Issues podcast. Over 440 episodes, which means over 800 hours of content of us talking about all this kind of stuff. It's a labor of love each and every week, and you guys don't pay for it at all. It comes out on YouTube in a live form, and then it comes out in audio form each and every week on Thursday. So go ahead and check that out. Besides doing this live video feed and doing this audio podcast, we have things like major previews, where once a month we open up our third eye, look into the solicitations, and find out what comics you guys will be picking up in the month. Alex Garcia helms that, but he also does his own weekly hauls where he shows you the comic books that he picked up during that week and why. People have been really, really liking those episodes, and really, he's become a tastemaker of sorts. So check out, yeah, that's a lot of books. I have books like literally like on top of the long box in front of me. It's time for another long box, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means.
Oh,
Uh,
woo.
yeah, it's both. I feel both of those feelings. It's like woo and woo and because you know what a new long box means, right? New long box means reorganizing. Because now what goes into the new long box? What goes into the old long box? What am I putting to the side? What am I? Ah, a lot, but it's
I
a labor
love
of
it.
love. We love it. It's
It,
comic books, and it's also very calming. If you can find a cool day to do your comic book putting away and put some music on and chill out, it's really
it's
really cool.
for me it's an it's like a nostalgia thing.
Yeah,
Then I
walk
immediately
down
go,
memory lane.
oh, I remember reading this.
Yeah.
Oh, remember this
Oh, I
cover.
did
Oh
pick that
man.
up. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. All right. Damn, I got two of these. How'd that happen? What happened there?
Hate when that happens. Hate it. Unless I find out that like it's worth like $100, then I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. But yeah, this so yeah, go check it out for that. All the episodes that we've come out with. We do comic book reviews each and every day from our international comic book review team that is still growing. Those guys are kicking butt every single day, posting about newest, hottest, latest, and greatest things to come to comic books. Our reviews are getting noticed by creators, which is super awesome. But we don't do it for that. We do it for the comic readers. We want them to know that we're part of this community, take this medium seriously, and what books you should be taking seriously. So that's been a labor of love from us. Plus, like I said, major hauls and major previews. We got a couple of stuff coming up in the coming down uh, in regards to interviewing comic book owners. We have a couple of exciting interviews that still haven't been published yet that I'm super stoked for you guys to see. We're gonna be very busy for the next upcoming months with some stuff that I can't mention right now, but boy, it's some big stuff, and I'm super excited that you guys are gonna be here for a lot of it. Um, uh, sometimes sometimes I feel like I just sit here in absolute wonder over some of the things that some of the things and some of the people that we get to speak to, absolute wonder. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. if you come over and you check out all the stuff on comicbookclick.com, including all of our reviews, and you check through all that stuff, and you're like, okay, that was fine. I kind of want a little bit more. Check that out. I kind of want a little bit more. Maybe you should go over to the other part of comicbookclick.com, the Dirt Sheet Radio part. Dirt Sheet Radio are the industry leaders in all things professional wrestling and pop culture. John Escudero runs a tight ship over there. He's got some really kick-ass reviewers over there. They do live reviews of every single or live coverage of almost every single live professional wrestling event across the globe. I wake up in the morning and find out what happens in Japanese pro wrestling all the time because the guys on Dirt Sheet Radio.
I didn't know what CMLL was until Dirt Sheet Radio.
There you go. And those guys are killing it. I don't know how he has time to sleep with all the professional wrestling that he not only covers but actually goes to go see. He's been quoted in the media scrum for the latest AEW pay-per-view, actually talking to Tony Khan and actually possibly repairing relations between America and Japan, which is a whole other thing. Super proud of that guy and everything that he's doing. He's part of the Comic Book Click family, and so was Dirt Sheet Radio. So go check out all that stuff those guys do there. Find us on social media, facebook.com/comicbookclick, Instagram at comicbookclick, and you can use that hashtag comicbookclick to talk about the newest, hottest, latest, and greatest things to come to comic book media. We're at Major Issue CBC on Twitter, at Major Issue CBC on Twitch. And yeah, I think that's everything that I've got. But yeah, man, stick to our socials. Patreon.com/CBC Clubhouse, where for as little as 10 cents a day, $3 a month, we could afford the hardware and the software we need to keep providing you guys this content free of charge. It's literally the change in your couch, ladies and gentlemen, but it adds up pretty well, and it affords us, we can buy time. When you guys give us money, we can buy time by buying a dinner so I don't have to cook, so I can sit and read all of Onslaught because it's so fucking much. And well, yeah, it's a lot. We'll talk because we also got to find a way to put Absolute Martian Manhunter back on the schedule. It's a whole conversation, but yeah, we will chat real soon. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, look through all of our stuff, join our Patreon, find us wherever you can find us, because we're always here when we're always having the conversations that you guys want to be a part of, and I want you guys to be a part of more. Thank you for everyone who's watching right now. Thank you for everyone who's listening to this podcast. And thank you for everyone who's helped us on this journey. We are closing in on 65,000 on Facebook. And very exciting times, considering in April we had 60. That's almost 1,000 a month. That's bonkers numbers. But you guys are saying it. You guys want more comic book clicks, so we're going to give you more. So just make sure that you're here next week for more of the Major Issues podcast. For the next episode of Major Hauls, for the next episode of Major Previews, for all of our reviews, make sure you're here, because where else can you be? But with that being said, there's nothing else left to say, but my name is George Serrano, aka The Don.
I'm Alex Garcia, aka The Cog.
And this has been our The Phantom recap and review for its 30th year anniversary. And remember, whether you got a wolf named Devil or a devil named Wolf, like purple tights, but not a domino mask kind of guy, remember that you can refuse the Phantom, ladies. I'm giving you guys that permission. Don't let him say that. You can refuse the Phantom. Remember that we are the Click, and always remember that you, yes, you, are worthy.